Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Hope you're all having a fine whatever. My microphone might sound a bit weird because I continue to battle it having gain issues, but, you know, it is what it is. I might be kind of quiet. I might have to fix it. I might, you know, I don't know if I can make keep yourself safe jokes this early on a stream, actually. But thank you all for joining. I know it's been a bit. I was, hold on, let me make sure. Yeah, okay. I've had times where I didn't turn the music down enough because my headphone settings were weird. Anyways, I took a vacation for about a week, and then I've spent like the last week or two after that just like sort of getting back in the swing of things. So yeah, sorry, I've been gone for like a month, but it's fine. I have a longer video in production for hopefully early next month. I think the script, I think, is pretty much done. I've been rereading it a few times because I feel like it's one of those videos where I'm going to explain a complicated topic, and I want to make sure my explanation isn't too confusing. I explain a lot of complicated topics, actually, so I mean, I can go into detail if chat doesn't mind a minor spoiler about what the next video will be or what it will be about, but my goal is for that to be early next month. I had a shorter video I wanted to make about Mirage and Sleight of Hand, but I decided against it because the script is done and maybe I'll revisit it, but I feel like that kind of shorter video I just have no desire to actually make. I see the chat is overrun by mpregs. I probably should have added that to the banned words list because I was considering doing that as a joke and I kind of never did. And I see maybe it'll be necessary. Female mpreg. Oh yeah, the dystopian society. I wonder, can I just do that from here? Hold on, I need to look into this. I'm just curious. I think I can. Hold on. I'm going to add the word mpreg in real time. I want to know if this works. Okay, this has been updated. I just don't know if I have to restart my stream for it to take effect or not. I guess we'll find out if the mpregs continue or stop. Oh no! I see someone... Well, Zayak, you're a mod. I think it makes sense that you can still say it. The what now? It's not important. It's not important. But welcome back, everyone. Let me get my audio fixed here. I always have to enable the, or disable mute when running in background, so if I alt-tab, the audio doesn't go away. But thank you, Rivals of Ether soundtrack. Today's live reaction was provided by Sparky over on the Discord. We'll let Nitro out of his cage as well. Yeah, he does that. Anyways. Yeah, hope we're all having a good one. I think for just, like, the goal of this stream is just to kind of catch up, right? We'll just do the weekly stuff, and we'll, you know, that'll kind of just be that. I don't think I'm going to do EDA this week, though. I'm just kind of annoyed with it, especially when Mirror Defense shows up, and I just don't want to do it. I think I have frames that would definitely make it possible, because I have Vauban and Volt, but I'll be honest, make fun of me all you want. I don't really want to do it. I think it sounds annoying. What about the Arthur demo? I have played the 1999 demo, and I do think it's fun, but that's kind of it. Like, I explored it a decent amount when it came out, but that's kind of all I've done with it since. There's not that much to do. How does Volt work into Mirror Defense? His 4. His 4 and his electric shields can be used to defend it. It's relying on crowd control in the labs is annoying because of Severed Wardens especially, but...
And, well, what the fuck is the argument that kind of, like, fucking broke that one bit of the fucking, difficulty script, where it's like, at least, hey, we finally have some place where CC's useful, and then they add that Bolstered Belligerence, I want to say?
Bolstered Belligerence isn't part of Mirror Defense this week. So
like, fuck, but, like, that was insanely, like, badly timed for that fucking video.
But yeah, like, even in regards to, like, regular Eximus units, the Wardens especially just make it difficult. They look like they belong in a modern art museum. Why does Nitro sound British yet Australian? I think it's called being Scottish. That's the word you're looking for.
Who the fuck said that?
This week is Boreal, which is unfortunate because You guys want to see some fuck shit? Hold on. Look at this. Look at this. You guys see something that bothers me? Why finish in thumbnail? It's a reference to a different game. Look at how many fucking blue shards I have. I have 7 reds, 21 yellows, and 33 blues. I don't need more of these.
Blues, you know, so.
I deliberately gave a bunch of blues to frames that didn't even really need them, just to get rid of them, and I still have this many. It's really annoying. I don't want them. Like, I was also, for a time, like, if I go to my Excalibur, you can see this. I just took his red shards and made them purple, also just to get rid of them. And, it doesn't matter. I still get so fucking many. Can we call Nitro British? No.
No.
So, I guess for today's agenda, aren't really something you'd want rather than the others. Well, here's the thing, right? Like I said, a lot of my frames that don't even need blue shards, like I've tried deliberately to get rid of them, and they do have some useful effects, like health regeneration and shield capacity especially, but they need to make shards tradable. I personally think it's fine for them to not be tradable, because you can get a limited quantity each week, so it's not like a farmable item necessarily. I think it does kind of take away from the, like, value of the shards if you were able to buy them off of other people, but that's just my opinion on the matter. Into something else. I don't know. Like, when it comes to that, I kind of wish that we would have some process for making the Ecthosards different, but it is what it is. I'm just going to sit on a bunch of them, and that'll be that, I guess. Also, I hope that Nyx's rework is good, especially because of the fact that the Trinity one looks pretty good. Did you... Nova... Don't encourage them.
What's he?
My chat has enough problems when they're clearly a hard candy. Well, yeah, Jolly Ranchers are a hard candy. I was gonna say, piss on your shards to turn them yellow or red. That would be a good system.
Help! I can only turn my shards
Still didn't
red.
remove the Link cap. Link's cap is going to scale with power strength, though, so there's that. To go on break. Welcome, Phoenix. I should probably... Has Nitro even opened the game? Yeah, he has.
Yes, I am taking my sanctums right now. Hello, Pond Water and the Lord of Flag.
Actually, no, we can just start with the Netra cells. I don't expect that many people to watch today's stream because I haven't posted in 20 years, so... Thoughts on Werther's original? Like the candy? I mean, they're fine, I guess. I'm not entirely sure who I should play. We can take Kome, actually. I'm going to forever rage about how I wish Hagasa scaled multiplicatively with Condition Overload, but that's nerd shit that doesn't matter. They're not buffing this gun. I'm just gonna give up.
Meow.
Huh, okay, I thought that my live reaction was misaligned, but no, it's not. Having to deal with all of us. Thank you, Cringe Incarnate. I appreciate it.
What frame shot I play? Yeah.
I just may look like mine because I'm unoriginal. I've been dealing with a bit of an issue recently. I don't really want to fix it because it seems really annoying, but I'm pretty sure that my GPU needs to have its pads redone or its paste redone because it's running at higher temperatures than other... Like, I looked at other people's thermal performance, and it's considerably better than mine, like in the ballpark of like 10 to 15 degrees better than mine. And I'm like, well, my case's airflow is probably not great because it's an NZXT case, so they're just notoriously shit about that, or they were for several years. But, even beyond that, I just think that my paste and pads needs replaced because apparently EVGA's stock ones are really bad. But that's a really annoying process, and I don't really want to do it on this for months. Yeah, I have. Because, like, my performance has kind of progressively slowly gotten worse in terms of my thermals. I've undervolted my GPU, and it's fine. Like, it's not like my GPU's running at a dangerously high temperature. But, like, I ran it through a stress test, and if my GPU is left under full load with no interruption, it will still gradually climb in temperature. So it seems like even under full, like, you know, fan tilt, my GPU is not able to keep itself cool. It will still slowly climb up in temperature. So I'm guessing that the issue is that it probably needs repasted or that new thermal pads, which is annoying because that process will take a lot of my time. But
yeah.
I will say the case I have is one of their like Flow series cases, so it shouldn't be terrible, at least for that. But the reason we have Thermia fractures, it's not that bad. What color does Bird 3 have? He has a blue shard currently. Also, thanks for stopping by, Shellmanigans. I appreciate it. I said, I don't expect today's stream to really do much. H6 Flow. I have one of the older Flow cases. I actually think that's part of my problem, is this older case only has, because, like, the front is well perforated, but the back isn't. And I think that where a lot of the thermal issues come from, for me at least, is the fact that it struggles on the exhaust front. At least for, like, anything case-related. But I think really, because, like, my GPUs, I ran temperatures when it was new, and they weren't this bad. I have a 3080 too, so it just takes way more power than it needs regardless. But, because, like, this, I can't remember which case this is specifically.
Ed
but,
left it. Fuck.
well, for fuck's sake.
Lobby systems.
But, I have, like, one of the, I think it was actually the first generation Flow case they ever did, so I hate this. Reasonable.
Let's go. All right.
From a net for cell grind. I'll play Kome to we'll fuck around. We'll talk about shit. Math is homophobic. Gay people do struggle with math. If Phoenix is still here, they can attest to that.
I can too.
7800 XT, that's it at 40-ish. Yeah, I was thinking about it because, like, my GPU under, like, relatively high load will be in the 70-ish range, which isn't, like, enough that it's like, oh, my GPU is gonna break. But if I remove my undervolt, it will rapidly climb to 85, which is the point that the GPU will start to throttle so it doesn't damage itself. And when I had first gotten my GPU with no undervolt, you know, in place, it wouldn't even go above 80. So, and again, the 3080 especially is notorious for taking way more power than it needs. So, failed math. You know what's funny? Because I'm one of the few people that, like, is actually relatively good at math, it seems like. But, or I was in high school, I was.
You're still
That's our first
good at math,
challenge.
honestly, I feel like.
I'm good at video game math because I actually care about it. Pretty much the entire next video is going to contain a considerable amount of video game math.
Oh, yeah.
Undervolt and overclock my GPU. Say, I don't have an overclock in place, but I do have an undervolt in place. Because you're not gay, Nitro is. That is true. This is factually accurate.
Shit, he's right.
Yeah, I've been trying to keep an eye on my performance because I think that my GPU is starting to struggle. How is he not gay? Every time someone makes this joke, we have to go over this. What did I get? Assassin's Rush? That's fine. Fuck off, Brustling. I don't care. Kill enemies while sliding, but I'm stuck with an energy drain. Shit.
Oh, shit. Oh, no, it's a fucking EDA modifier made its way over.
EBH, you might need form up for that, though. That's true. If I have, like, once my GPU hits a certain temperature range, it will actually start to, ramp up its fans to max, and like I said earlier, that's not enough if it's under full strain. If I don't want to be good at math. Ultimately, it's just about, I feel like to an extent, a lot of it is really about understanding, like, the relationship between different ideas. I'm just going to reject this one, actually, because I don't want to be stuck with this while I'm doing this.
Reject shit?
If you have a challenge you don't want, you can reject it, but it'll put it on cooldown again.
Ah, interesting.
Feeding it cool air. I think the main issue, other than just the way the case is set up, is that I think that the pads are not great. I don't know. I'm not in any immediate need to do it. It's just one of the things that has been on my mind is, like, I should probably do this because it's kind of annoying type of situation. There aren't any fans at the bottom of this case, though. I'm just watching the chat as they continue to try and figure out the joke. I'm glad that this continues to happen.
Yeah, every time, you know.
You know, what is my next challenge? Kill enemies inflicted with cold status. Okay, that's easy. I say as none of my my Bunraku gets no cold statuses.
I hate to break it to you, but I'm
skipped
Ember,
one.
so like I have heat.
And
It's the opposite of cold.
that's not how this works.
I know.
It's such a good statement, too. I mean, I'm not lying when I make the joke that I'm not gay, my boyfriend is. This is verifiably correct. Does he have another house to lose? Yeah, I won the house back off camera. I did some mining off camera, and I won the house back.
The Bitcoin mining.
I don't even know what triggered Assassin's Rush. Oh, my dog must have killed something. I was like, why do I have the boost?
Let me in. Let me in. This is not my mech. No, mine's on the other side. Okay, you lied to me.
Regardless, though, sorry, I'm a little out of it today. I hope everyone's been having a good time while I've been gone. It's probably now worse that I'm back, but that's besides the point. Hope everyone's been up to some fun stuff this October. I think the last time I streamed was shortly after this update's release. I want to say it was like a day or two after that I did my last stream before leaving for vacation. Because this update was the 5th, and I left on the 9th, so yeah, that sounds right. We're just continuing to, go the kilometer distance I have to cover. It was very loud, grim. Brains gent.
Is Corvus any good? Corvus Prime, I guess.
Corvus Prime's pretty good. At least I would say it is.
Mine's probably just not built good enough then.
Average Netracell mission. Sometimes you forget, and then you have to subject yourself to this. Sorry, I'm reorganizing a bit of my layout here. But yeah, sometimes you forget and have to subject yourself to this walk. Nitro can't even necessarily do anything because I picked up all the key glyphs, so...
Oh, yeah. Funny.
Try a different one.
Nitro, did you take any?
No.
I can't do it. Oh, wait, no. My operator had to do it. Okay, this game works and is normal. Anyone else know Dinosaur Train? Like the children's show?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I guess. Tux's alt account. Catnip for autistic people. Honestly, you know, fair enough. When you put it that way, I believe you. I don't feel like Assassin's Rush is going to help me a ton in a mission where I'm so stationary, but it's not the end of the world. It's getting a kill gives you more parkour velocity. Would it even be Warframe? It's interesting because I feel like a lot of mechanics in Warframe that are kind of iconic are the result of bugs. Like multiplicative condition overload is one. That's not an intentional mechanic as far as I'm aware. It's a bug that's beneficial, and a lot of weapons would completely suck ass without it, and I hope they never fix it.
Got him back.
Because I don't know if anyone knows how this system works, I guess, but the way that condition overload applies to some weapons is different than others. And it's not intentional, but several weapons, like especially things like Stephalos and stuff like that, Aeolak is another big example, where they would be way worse without that mechanic, you know, in their favor. What did I even get? Oh, Molten Metal. Well, I don't really care about that one. Just send that over that way. The thing is, bug turn teacher, true. My thing with like the multiplicative condition overload thing though is I feel like it's one of those things where I kind of wish it was turned into a more deliberate mechanic, because like I said, I feel like Higasa should use it, but
yeah,
it does not, and so this gun kind of sucks ass, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Something that was brought up on my previous stream when I was complaining about Higasa, like, I still use it, and you can still definitely make it work, it's just really underwhelming. But someone had said that they, like, had heard the argument that Higasa is a utility weapon, and I want to just go on the record saying that I think the it's a utility weapon argument kind of sucks. Oh, I was looking at my chat and I died. Whoops.
Oh, shit coming.
The decrees do affect your operator, but I have none that actually matter.
Yeah.
Regardless, though, I feel like the idea that, like, when someone says that something is a utility weapon, I think they often neglect that the second word in that statement is weapon.
Yeah.
I do think that it should be able to kill things. I'm in the same boat with Rauta. Like, Rauta has a strong utility element to it, but it's not a very good gun in terms of, like, killing shit, and I feel like those don't have to be mutually exclusive. What is the live math jump scare? I don't get it. I think that's the point. If Sparky's still here, you'll have to ask them. They made it. Or Swoonardian. Oh, the book is in here. Hey, buddy. Oh, hey, buddy.
Oh.
Real Bingus hours? Now, this is a Floppa-only zone. Thank you very much. Oh, he's been marked. This means he'll take more damage, but he has enough damage attenuation, I don't really think it matters.
He bears the mark. He is cursed or some shit.
I do think it's kind of fun getting my, one saga has a value of 1.33. This is true, actually.
Oh, again.
Bingus Prime got sent to 1999. He did win the Power Plat at TennoCon. Farewell. I think the base damage on my Higas is probably going to be too low to kill this in a reasonable time frame, huh?
You need some help then, or?
How's the melee looking? Better, but not great. If I would not get struck by lightning, this would probably be considerably easier. Oh, Bombastein's Malice. I should have you. Fortunately, Assassin's Rush is actually working out now, so I shouldn't have talked any shit about it earlier.
That's nice.
29 damage, yeah. But yeah, utility weapon known as the Sunpoint Plasma Drill, I agree.
Oh yeah.
Rose calling in a mech. Throw this down here. I haven't been playing Warframe that much since I got back, so I'm a little out of it with the actual gameplay of the video game, if I'm perfectly honest.
Oh, my character's fucked. Not again. Okay, we're good. We're good. I just couldn't use any weapons for a minute there.
Cool thumbs. They did say that as part of the Infested Lich system, they will have, like, they'll always come with a cosmetic, but they're expanding the cosmetics to be more than just ephemeras. I do hope that they have cool ephemeras regardless.
I just got one shot by that fucking Jade Light bitch.
I'm curious to see what they'll, you know, contain. I think they mentioned specifically a band poster as one of them, so that's cool.
Oh, there's a Necromech, and that might be part of it.
Is Warframe just modern Evangelion? I mean, I haven't... That's more of a Sabuchi question. He's actually watched Evangelion. I haven't. My apologies, anyone who's a fan of it. Femboy Floof? I mean, if Shiro gets his own cosmetic, then sure. You can make a shrine to online. Yeah, you can be you can, like, soy out about your favorite boy band or so. I don't think they used the term soying out back in 1999, so maybe we'll need a more era-appropriate term, but my attempts to read my chat have made this much more difficult for me than I anticipated, I'm not gonna lie.
Agreed. Oh, it's a void rig. We need to kill it.
You're not reading the chat. Fuck, you mean agree? Can Slinky come back? What the fuck was that shit? He was stuck in the heat panic animation, but he was just, like, sliding away from me. I've 666 my 1, and it's in a pretty useless spot. I am going to weep.
Damn.
It's called fangirling, but what if you're not a girl? What then? Morale boost? Oh, alright, we take that, I guess. Actually, no, we don't. I'm pretty sure I have a fucking... key glyph that's draining my health. Oh, no,
yeah.
outside the ring. Fangirling any gender? I guess, yeah, we have to clarify that. Fan-daying. Also, welcome, Sci-Fi. Then it's called being gay. I don't feel like that's called being gay. Molly, what the fuck is...
There we go. Fuck, he's dead. Finally.
Sorry, my dog likes to be a little bit stupid sometimes. Doing Netracells, yeah. This stream is just going to kind of be a whatever stream. I didn't have anything fancy in mind for this one. I just wanted to do one to let people know that I'm alive. Feeling a certain way. You know, I guess. Gay derogatory.
Base.
It's like I always say when I'm talking to, like, my friends, and I'm like, that's so gay, but, like, the bad kind.
Yeah, like...
Oh, yeah, sorry, I'm using Higasa, that with, no galvanized stacks. That guy is, in fact, living. Say Spira? I mean, workable. There we go. Got some real old weapons. I thought that Legion was one of the ones we said they were adding. I might be misremembering, though. I'd have to look at the list. I can pull that up right now, actually. I'm almost positive I sent this to Phoenix. Let me scroll up in our DMs. There's the Freaky Wunkus. I have to be getting close. Oh, no, I was thinking of Path Assist. Those are not even close to the same weapon, so I don't know why that was in my brain. The what? I'll have to find the picture of the Freaky Wunkus again. Can you please become merciable? This gun gives me fucking cancer. Revive the dog. I'm working on it. Don't worry about it. I'm working on it.
You got another mech?
I mean, aren't you also in a mech? This is just like Titanfall.
Correct. He's also a Ronin, but he is apparently better than me.
During Wall Lash. Okay, yeah, I don't really care enough to finish this one with this short of a time frame left. Let me Rolance online. I mean, they're all infested now, so... that... Maybe you're the Freaky Wunkus, actually. The Freakus. I'm gonna beat this guy up real quick. There we go.
Thank you.
My dog just kind of solos. I'm not gonna lie. He does most of the hard work at this point.
Who?
The dog.
Hell yeah.
Can be cracked as hell. My guess is they'll probably just give Synapse chaining. I think that's probably going to be like the easiest, most effective buff they could give it, but I guess we'll have to see. That would be my guess, though. My pre-release guess is they're probably going to give it chaining. Let me romance Floyd. I'm pretty sure he's already taken a shit. Lamau got him. I think he's already OP as shit. Synapse is already quite a good weapon. I do agree with you there. I'm curious to see what they're going to do for it. I feel like DE has handled, like, upgrade variants of weapons well in terms of, like, I think a good example are Exceltra and Decarius, actually, where their primes do, like, pick up their worst stats, but they have a decent fire rate hit, which doesn't matter a ton on Gauss, but for other Warframes is definitely considerable. I think that was a good way to balance it. Larkspur is not an example I'm talking about as a weapon that was buffed correctly. Larkspur Prime was a disappointment.
Yes.
They only get better. I mean, I'm not saying that the Lich variant needs to be like a direct side grade. I'm just saying that I hope it doesn't like make it insane. I think of Komei and her weapons. I like Komei despite her issues. Aminata is fine. Higasa kind of sucks. That's my Spark Notes variant of my opinion on Komei. Komei herself is fun. She just takes a while to get going.
Yeah.
Higasa kind of sucks, and Aminata is decent. Higasa slaps. I think this weapon just doesn't deal enough damage. The beam on Higasa is fine, but the gun itself, I think, struggles.
Nice notes.
I feel like there's just a lot of stuff on it that's not comfortable. Its base damage is really low, so it doesn't scale well with base damage bonuses, and its fire rate is really low, which just makes it really uncomfortable to use. It definitely can work, I just think it's disappointing. Absolute worst weapon in the game. Honestly, that's kind of tough to say. umbrella gun. I think it's cool. That's why I'm disappointed that I don't think it's very strong. Because I think it's a really cool weapon. I was very excited for it when it was first shown off for that reason. I was like, oh, it's a gun with a gun shield. That's sick. And then I played with it, and I'm like, damn.
Yeah.
I don't like this that much.
Maybe.
Switch frame, because I don't like lingering on one for too long. I start to get bored. It's MR2. I think that's honestly ultimately like the mistake that was made. Like, I'll be honest with you all. I'm going to go on a minor like side tangent here. I think that making Komei early game was a bad decision, and I think that like we've kind of almost repeated Duviri, but not quite. Komei herself is a Warframe who is by far at her best in endless missions, which new players aren't going to be doing because their #1 goal is to complete the star chart. So I feel like Komei herself is a frame that's much better at higher levels of play than lower levels of play, and it's not unrealistic to say that Komei will be a lot of people's second ever Warframe. I mean, she even has a reduced build time. And I feel like, I don't know, like, positioning Komei that way is just weird to me. Like, this is just coming from my own experience of teaching my friends to play the game. Most of them aren't even casting their abilities that early on, because they don't even have that kind of grasp on the game. But even beyond that, Komei is so complex in terms of, like, the way her, you know, her 2 especially is one of the most complicated abilities in the entire game. But beyond that, her 1 and the status effects, you know, mechanic of it, I feel like is a little bit beyond what a lot of new players will understand. And I feel like positioning her in that spot of being early game, I think, was kind of a mistake because of the fact that she's so complicated. And then beyond that, they said that Higasa and Amanata have bad base stats because they're early game, and that's why they made, like, Higasa Serration and Amanata Pressure, was to alleviate that. Amanata Pressure is, I think, fine, but Higasa Serration kind of bites, because it's a really big bonus, sure, but it means that Higasa itself scales poorly with base duration, like, or base damage bonuses like Arcanes, and there aren't a lot of good primary Arcanes out there that aren't base damage ones, if you want my honest opinion. Like, Frostbite and Blight are both good, but aside from that, like, I think Plated Round kind of sucks because its duration is so low and the bonus takes so much effort, and it's a base damage bonus as well, so that doesn't really fix that problem. I don't know, a lot of them are also just exceedingly niche. Oh, I just went the wrong way. I'm trying to read too hard. I feel like Higasa and Amanata being positioned early and them saying, well, we can't give them good base stats because they're early game weapons, so we'll give them mods that make them better, just kind of screwed them over. I feel like if there was some method that would have given them a buff to their base damage, not as a base damage like mod, but like a buff like the Incarnins give, where it just increases the base damage, that would have been much better. But I feel like, I don't know, the way it was handled, I don't personally like that much. We record the Okina stuff, have fun. Thanks for stopping by, Sci-Fi. I feel like the way that it was handled, like I said, Amanata isn't as bad about it. It's not an amazing weapon, but with Tennokai it is very good. Because Amanata Pressure gives it the random heavy attack status effects. Hamis, indeed. But I feel like Higasa just kind of drew the short end of the stick. And like I said as well, like, Komei is a frame that's really good at priming, and both of her weapons don't benefit from that a ton because of their bad base damage, and the fact that they have solid alternatives. We didn't need Komei to be for us. I'll be perfectly honest with you, I do not think there should be content in Warframe that's meant to be outgrown. I think that's a bad design philosophy. The problem is the game does do it a lot. Like, for example, the Lotto. Like, you are meant to outgrow that. Eventually, you can start using them with the Incarnate adapter and stuff, but I think content that's meant to be outgrown isn't good for the game. Especially in the realm of, like... It's like, I'll say this, Komei herself is meant for veteran players. New players are given way too much shit to handle when they're given Komei. She's too complicated for them, if you want my honest opinion. But Higasa and Amanata in particular, I feel like are in a situation where they're just kind of, Higasa especially, is doomed to have problems because it was put in that position. The beginner gear that falls off later game. It's done that to some of it. Not all of it, but a decent amount of it. I feel like it's important that things in Warframe remain relevant, I guess, because Warframe is a game that ultimately I think a big part of it is expression through what equipment that you use and what things you like. Because, like, if I have a favorite, like, let me put it this way. So let's say that I'm a new player and I get, let's say in this hypothetical scenario, Kome and her stuff is early game only. Let's say that the, like, Steel Path versions of the mods don't exist. Say it's purely positioned to be an early game thing. And you get Higasa, and you like it, and you get Amanata, and you like it, and then someone tells you, like, well, you're meant to outgrow that, and then say that's your favorite gun. Now you're just left in a position where you have to move on from the thing that you liked, and that sucks.
Yeah.
I think that, because Warframe has a problem with upgrade variants and mastery fodder, and I'm not going to try and deny those. The Boltor is fucking worthless because of the fact that the Boltor Prime and Telos Boltor exist. So if you like Boltor, the game will eventually tell you, well, you have to go get the better Boltor. But even beyond that, I do think that it's important that you can kind of keep those things relevant. And I feel like for Higasa especially, that's not going to happen until its Prime comes out. Because realistically, we're not getting a Higasa variant. It doesn't need one. The point of my tangent here,
let's go.
Well, the point of my tangent here is that I feel like Higasa especially, but kind of both of them, got fucked over with them deliberately making their base stats not good. Especially with, like, Higasa, its crit chance is just fine, its status chance is nothing special, its fire rate sucks, its projectile velocity sucks, its base damage is really bad.
Fucking yike.
They don't want to try new things. And yeah, that is a situation where, like, Warframe encourages experimentation, but in the same vein, people like what they like and will use what they like. Is getting the better version of a gun. I think the problem with it for me is that it makes the not better version functionally worthless. Like, say I'm a new player who likes the Boltor and I don't know there's a Telos variant. I'm using the Boltor as an example because it was actually a gun that you got in the new player pack for a long time. But say I get the Boltor because I think it's a cool gun and I put investment into it, like I put a catalyst or something on it, just found out there's a better variant. It does kind of suck to hear that and be like, well, shit, now, you know, all the investment I put into this weapon isn't relevant past a certain point.
Hell, I even just think about thing with Prime Warframes, honestly.
I feel like with most of the stuff in Warframe, I think is positioned in a spot that's pretty good in terms of, like, you can use it at most levels of play and you'll be fine. But there are some things where it's just like, yeah, there is an objectively better variant of this, and there is no reason to keep this. Because the Boltor is admittedly, I will, you know, give the devil his due. The Incarnate has different stats across different versions, so you can make an argument to hold on to it, but most people aren't going to do that.
Nor do they even know that.
From anything I want. Yeah, it can be kind of rough.
Take 'em out. We ain't got all day.
Yeah, like I said, I don't know. That's just my take on that. Just once again, I'll just summarize. I don't think things in Warframe should be made to be outgrown, and I think that's kind of where they fucked up on Higasa and Amanata. I still think Amanata's a lot of fun, but Higasa I do think struggles for it. I'm glad it got it Incarnate. Yeah, fair enough. Consumes an inventory slot. That's kind of an issue as well, is that you will have to, if you want new weapons, you have to give up old weapons you might have liked. But I have a video that I made that talks about that issue more in depth, being why do new players really quit, which to this day is the video I've gotten the most amount of harassment over making. But
yeah, and I hate that.
Like, I'll say this to anyone who's seen that video, I had to lock the comments for a reason, and sometimes, like, that video was a turning point for me. I turned off getting notified for comments on YouTube. I just don't read them anymore, which sucks because I liked to do it and I thought it was fun to interact with my community. But that video just, like, completely took the wind out of my sails on that. But even beyond that, I will still occasionally, like, when I go into YouTube Studio, one of the sections at the bottom shows my 3 most recent comments that I haven't interacted with, so I still will see a few of them. And even now, I still occasionally get comments on other videos harassing me from that video. Yeah. I think the most recent one I received was a couple weeks ago, where someone showed up and was saying that the video was shit and that I was... What was their exact wording?
Running through to some shit?
No, here's the thing. It said that the video was bad and that me turning off the comments made me a pussy or something like that. But it was funny for 2 reasons. One, comments like that completely prove that I was in the right. and in terms of turning the comments off. And two, if you don't like the video, that's fine. You're allowed to disagree with me. Why don't you explain why it's bad? I feel like a lot of people end up doing this, and it kind of just irks me in general, because a decent amount of my content is fairly opinionated, even if I, try to be informational first and foremost. Plenty of it does contain my opinion, and a lot of people will tell me that my opinion is bad and just never elaborate on it. And I feel like at that point, I don't think your opinion's any better than mine. At least I've actually tried to make some effort to reinforce why I think what I think. If you don't agree with me, that's perfectly fine, but I'd like you to articulate your reason.
Yeah.
Touch grass moment, more or less. You want the game to get better. Another thing that, like, I think I posted a thing about this with the, oh yeah, someone asked me about the Caliban rework. I'm just gonna pivot for a second. Caliban's rework is really good, and I think he's really fun.
Oh yeah.
But I'm going outside. Wish me luck. Godspeed. Good luck, Mischief. I believe in you.
I don't. Good luck.
But when it comes to stuff like that, Warframe is a game with a lot of video game politics. It's admittedly very draining. Like, I hate listening to people talk about this game a lot of the time because it's just annoying. Especially because of the kind of situation where it's like, people will levy, like in that video, I levied good faith criticisms, and that was used as a platform for people to levy bad faith criticism. A comment I recently received on another video, again, being about the new player video, was someone saying that the game was bad, but then they also said in the same comment, I haven't played since alpha. And it's like,
bro,
that would be, what, 12 years? Like, why are you even commenting on this situation? And that was kind of the situation I ultimately ended up realizing with that video. Also, welcome, Sab. But the situation I ended up realizing with the Why Do New Players Quit video is it had left the Warframe community and was reaching people who hated the game already and were using it as an excuse to attack it because they thought I agreed with them. Because it's a situation I saw with the Overguard video a lot, too. But that one, where people would just bash the game or its developers because they thought I was, on board with that, when the goal of the things I'm saying is that I want the game to improve. Something that I do think I should have added to the video in hindsight, because my opinion on this wasn't clear enough, was several people commented things like, well, I was gonna try this game, but thank you for showing me I shouldn't. And, like, I have enough time in this game that I think it should be evident that I like this game and think you should try it. But because I never explicitly stated that, because I also present alternative solutions to the problems in terms of, like, saving your starter platinum and stuff like that. But I feel like I should have had a section that told the new players, if they were watching it, that I do still think they should play the game. Because I think that's one thing where I do think I fucked up, and I can see legitimate damage coming from it. At the same time, though, that video, I think, was an important discussion, and despite going back and forth with myself on the topic of taking it down, my ultimate decision was to lock the comments, because I would literally wake up to like a dozen comments a day where most of them were insulting me, and then I would just move on from it. I still think the video makes important points, so it's still up. And some of the things that I talked about have been addressed. Like, if you try to delete a mastered item, or an item that's not been mastered, there is now a warning prompt telling you the item has not been mastered. There's a pop-up in the market when you enter it telling you that you can buy things for credits.
Yeah, you alone
4 years to public schooling. I agree with you, Sab. I watched a video that said the gameplay mechanics were shit, so I didn't bother playing. Yeah, and I will say, like, if it's a low barrier to entry for a free-to-play game, like, if a new player sees that video and is like, well, now I'm not playing it, like, fair enough, that's your prerogative and it's your time. I just hate knowing that on some level, some people just saw my attempt at being like, hey, here's ways we can smooth over this experience, being like, wow, the game is obviously shit and I shouldn't play it. Like, I don't remember the part where I said that. Because a lot of people even, like, as recently as my last stream would be like, well, I thought you said in that video that Warframe is dying, and I never made that argument. But as I think about it, like, I can see how you'd synthesize that opinion from what I said. That's not what I was, saying, and that's not something I think is true. But at the same time, it's like, shit, I can see where you'd get that opinion from. Yeah. Because in the beginning, I specifically say that Warframe needs new players because it's how games like it survive. That's correct. But I think that does leave the implication open that I'm sort of implying the game is dying when that wasn't the point of that statement.
I think people are just dumb, babe.
I mean, Sabuchi, if he's still here, can attest that the YouTube comments on Warframe content are next level fucking stupid. But
They don't deserve this shit, honestly.
they're probably never going to play it anyways. I think that kind of depends, but... Because a lot of people with that video in particular... I know I've talked about this video several times on my streams now, but... I feel like a lot of people that were, like, not part of the Warframe community just wanted to bash on Warframe for their own personal reasons and saw it as an excuse to. There is a thing in the gaming community in general. I say gaming community with massive air quotes because that's such a loose thing. The Magnesium stream did not go well. Wow, real shocker.
Huh?
But
The
Magnesium stream. I'm assuming Sabuchi's referring to magnesium citrate, as in the laxative. But I cast Melee Arcane Adapter. We'll see Etch. I am playing your main. 15% chance. Let's see if we hit it. But
do not call a Necromancer. Kill him, Corvus.
a lot of the comments I received were like, just play Destiny or just play the first Descendant.
Oh,
and
Destiny's
shit
dying.
like that. And it's like, genuinely on that, ah, damn. This might actually be worse, Etch. I'm gonna be honest, this is even worse. Can I say the Aeolak build? I can grab it, yeah. But I do want to actually talk here. Real quick before I continue, I'm going to explain something important about Aeolak.
Hell yeah.
Aeolak has an important mechanic. This isn't listed here, because that's not how the game does these things.
Oh,
But-
a conditional, the multiplicative conditional. I love this. I love this explanation.
Yeah, Galvanized Aptitude is multiplicative on the primary fire for Aeolak, and it has innately 4 elements. So you can get 6 on it pretty easily, so this thing actually deals way more damage than you'd expect. This is also part of why I think that Higasa should be multiplicative, because that would genuinely solve its biggest problem. But technically, multiplicative condition overload is a bug, and I don't think they'll ever do that on purpose. Was just asking myself if Sunday stream would ever come back. Fair enough. But I guess back, I know I'm bouncing between things. I'm sorry, I'm a very scatterbrained individual. I don't know if this means that I need medication, or people just think I'm on medication already. But regardless of that, with people talking about that, like going into bat for their games and stuff like that, it just felt like people were trying to dogpile on the game when that wasn't the point of the video. Like I said, the point of the video was to levy a good faith criticism, which was, hey, I think these things are problems that are causing people to quit. Because like I said, I've introduced a lot of people to Warframe over time, and seems like you're on too much of the wrong medication. I think, you know, that's a fair observation to make.
Let's go.
But
Perfect.
I feel like like I said, it left the Warframe community, which is already a very negative place, to be honest. Does that mean the enemy has 6 different status effects? So it's normally additive with base damage, but so galvanized aptitude, which is the primary one, is 80%, I believe, at most. So it's 80% damage if you have 1 unique status effect, 160% if they have 2, 240 if they have 3, and so on. That is additive to base damage mods on most weapons. There is a spreadsheet. Actually, this was moved to the Warframe wiki. You can find this on the wiki now. There are weapons that work with it weirdly. Some of them get less of the listed bonus than necessary, or like than the UI would have you to believe. Some of them get no bonus at all, mostly AoE weapons. Some of them benefit more from it than they're supposed to, and then the best category, some of them have it applies a multiplicative bonus after mods. Nitro, are you getting in here anytime soon?
Yeah. Why the fuck do I only have...
Knowing the instructions, I still enjoy it. And yeah, that's fair. I think the Warframe community is a negative place. Can you elaborate? The Warframe community is docile until they're mad about something, and then they're incredibly toxic. Good examples of this being Angels of the Zeraman and Dante's nerf. The amount of... Actually, I can think of an even better example. Regal Aya. When Regal Aya first released, when you purchased it, there was no platinum that came with it, which was stupid. I'm not going to try and defend the developers on that note. That was dumb. But there were people that were posting to the Warframe subreddit. Obviously, everyone was incredibly up in arms about this. But there were people that were posting on the subreddit, because I sorted by new that day to read that stuff, and there were people posting things like, oh, hey, I just bought Regal Aya, you know, what should I buy with it? And the comments were straight up calling them slurs for purchasing Regal Aya.
Not even
And it's just like,
kind.
I just remember looking at that in, like, legitimate, like, horror of, like, this is how we're treating people for making a purchase that you disagree with? Even beyond that, though, they fixed the Regal Aya thing within a day. I think it was the next day that they had fixed it. They had added platinum to them and released a statement saying that they felt like they clearly didn't understand why people bought those packs, and they did their best to remedy it. I still think it was incredibly stupid it happened to begin with, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But, were they cool slurs? I'm gonna go with no. And Mag Anniversary, completely mad pitchforks and torches for skins. I will say that I think that the reaction was kind of over, you know, what it should have been, but I do agree with the fundamental portion of the controversy, that being that they shouldn't have been time limited, and I still think that was a bad decision.
Yeah.
Come from my friends in Dojo/fan. A lot of the in-game community is fine, but a lot of the community spaces, like the forums, the wiki comments are really bad. I'm gonna be honest. Do not read the Warframe wiki comments. That is the kind of shit that will actually give you brain damage. Honestly, though, a lot of community discourse in Warframe will give you brain damage.
Yeah.
Hell, sometimes I go into my own Discord and look at the Warframe discussion chat, and I'm just like, it's hopeless in here.
Yeah.
You bought Regal Aya, you fucking clanker? Yeah, deadass. Do not read the comments on Ticker's wiki page. Yeah, I can see how that would probably be a fucking disaster. But where did he go? Oh, I was like, what the fuck? Also, fun fact, you can doom Necromites for some reason. It doesn't do anything, but I think it's kind of funny.
Yeah. Found the echo. Yippee.
This guy has 85 billion fucking damage reduction percentage. Okay.
That easy, babe.
I just hide the threads. If you guys, okay, this goes for any game. If you want to get an overdose of idiocy, like if you want to see so much cringe and brain rot that you die, go to a game's Steam discussions. The Steam discussions and the Steam comments are the worst place imaginable for people's opinions about any subject.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm trying to find it. I'll get back to reading the comments, or the chat in a second. I just walked past it. Oh, my damage on this is really bad. Fortunately, I have really high multi-shot, though. Okay, that link actually redirects to your channel? Yeah, it does.
But then you killed him. So, I guess you did.
That I had to say it was yikes. Yeah, that kind of shit is just a lot of what that stuff is now. But bonus damage from Void? Actually good to know. I wasn't aware of that.
Ah.
Thoughts on the Spectral Spirit augment? Spectral Spirit is an augment that's really good, but does honestly kind of remove one of my favorite aspects of Daggett, which was what I like to call tactically killing yourself.
Oh, yeah.
There were times, if you were playing Daggett, where letting yourself die was actually beneficial. What is the game doing? Oh, it wants me to go up here. And I feel like that is kind of lost with Spectral Spirit. It's a very good augment, and I do use it, but that gameplay element is kind of gone. I'm not sure what comment you're referring to, Evelyn, but I am a tad curious. But the point I'm trying to make in terms of the toxicity thing, though, I guess wrapping back around to that, is the community at large is fine, kind of, until there's a major controversy, and then it's full meltdown, everything sucks, and the developers are stupid. Dante's nerf was a good example of this. Did they over-nerf Dante at first? Yes, I'm not going to deny that. Rebecca said on a dev short it would be a little tweak, and they nerfed, I think, all of his abilities but 2. Yeah. And it's like, that's pretty heavy-handed. I'm not going to defend them on that front. But after everything was said and done, I think that ultimately Dante's nerf didn't do that much to him, and left a lot of the game better off for it, with improvements to line of sight. They, you know, codified his status damage increase into his birds. They made Word Warden better, which was a considerable buff to him. Triumph had its its amount of overguard you got per cast was lowered, but its regenerate was doubled, which was why that ability was good anyways.
Yeah.
So ultimately, I think Dante walked out of it more or less a side grade, if not a little bit better than he was pre-nerf. Because I think the Word Warden buff was something that was a lot of people sleep on. But there are people, like, even still, I went to the official Warframe Discord and just Control-F'd Dante, like, a month after his nerf went through, and saw messages as recently as that day, people saying that they walled Dante because he wasn't fun anymore. And it's just like, that is psychotic.
Yeah.
Procs Doom with Spectral Spirit. That makes sense. My loadout I have is... Oh, for fuck's sake. This is what I get for trying to read. What are you doing?
A good question. I got lost.
But, most of my loadout is, like, Incarnate stuff, I guess. But that makes sense. Pretend to not know what mods are. That would kind of go off. Billions must piss and shit themselves in the forums. Like, I will say this. There was a... I feel like I keep just rambling about comments, but I think that this one, I think, prompts an important discussion. Someone left a comment on the Overguard video. For those who haven't seen DE Doesn't Understand Overguard, I have a section at the end where I said that I do think the community has a problem with this kind of behavior, and someone left in the comments that I thought it was justified because the devs don't listen. I will say this. If anyone here does believe that Warframe's developers do not listen, there is such a massive list of evidence against that point that I don't even really think it's worth arguing. But when I asked them for elaboration on that opinion, because I gave a few examples of times they did listen, they said, well, just check the the feedback section on the forums. And I sat there and thought to myself for a minute, and I'm like, if I made this game, I wouldn't listen to most of the feedback on the forums either, because it's fucking stupid.
Yeah.
Like, I'm getting a bit ranty here, so you'll all have to forgive me for this. But legitimately, when it comes to Warframe's community, a lot of people do not know how to play this game, and have a lot of opinions that are not very good about it. And I'm not trying to berate them for that. Warframe is incredibly complex, and there's a lot of stuff the game doesn't explain to you. So I'm not faulting players who don't understand how certain things work. A big part of my next video is talking about a topic that a lot of people do misunderstand because the game doesn't explain it to them. But I feel like the position of, like, well, they don't implement every single community suggestion, so they don't listen. Like, I've had my share of community suggestions that I know are never going to get added, like Excalibur's passive lifesteal. I want that to happen. I don't think it's going to. But I don't think that DE doesn't listen because they haven't done everything you want them to do. And also, yeah, DE is very involved with the community, more so than most game developers. They definitely have their faults, but I think a lot of Warframe players lose sight of that. Wildest comment you've ever seen? On my own channel, or just about Warframe in general? Because the wildest comment on my own channel I do have an example of.
Yeah, I know what's coming.
Actually, I don't think you'll remember this one. The homophobic comment's probably what you're thinking of, and that one is funny, but it's not the weirdest.
Is it the one that called you like a fucking the P word? Or?
It is that one, yes.
Yeah,
I'm surprised you remember that comment. The guy who called you a sheep.
It's just so out there. It's like, what?
On your channel. Okay, so this is a story about the Warframe iceberg. This was way back when my channel was probably less than a year old. Someone left a comment on that video saying that I was a pedophile, and when I went to go read it, they had deleted it. So I couldn't read the full comment, so I have no idea what the fuck they were talking about. And they also had, like, a bright neon furry profile picture, which made it 10 times funnier. That's the kind of comment where you can't even be mad when you read it, because it's so stupid that it just wraps around into being funny.
Yeah.
What? Yeah, I don't know what he was talking about either. I have no idea what the point of his comment was. The coward deleted it before I could read it. I keep thinking I'm losing health because I walk near Nitro's Chroma, and so I get the health bonus, but I don't get all of the health, like, missing max HP. So it's like, why did my health just go to half? And it's like, yeah, because my health amount actually increased. I just fucking joined a minute ago. Yeah, weird shit.
Yeah, it
That's
happens.
all I'm gonna say. Why don't you address... Okay, so fun thing about why don't you address the allegations. Link has kept leaving that comment on, like, my last 3 videos, and it's so fucking funny. Because Link will be like, not cool of you that you're not addressing the allegations. People will be like, oh my god, what did he do? And Link's like, nothing, I made it up. It's so fucking funny. I always love watching those comments to see if he gets people. It's so fucking funny.
This is the allegations. Like, what do you do? He's a furry.
It's like, there are no allegations. Link just makes it up to fuck with people, and it's hilarious. When will you, though? When there are allegations to address, perhaps.
I mean, I can make a few, but
the allegation that I am, in fact, actually gay. Unlike Reb, who doesn't know how to code. I don't think that not knowing how to code necessarily would make Rebecca a bad director. And beyond that, I'm pretty sure it's been established that Rebecca has been doing the stuff for the game since Angels of the Zeramans era. She said on a dev stream Duviri was her idea. That she said that she wrote the design document for it. So I feel like when it comes to that stuff, at least, like, I do think that even if Rebecca can't program, that doesn't mean she has, like, that she can't have good ideas. Especially because she's a developer that does actually play the game.
Yeah.
The Cool Kid situation is insane. Thank you, Hunter. Are you going to be the one to finally expose me? Like, DE has combinations of that kind of thing. Like, Pablo both knows how to program and has good ideas, but...
And plays the game, I guess.
I feel like, and yeah, Pablo does actually play the game. He has had some, what I'll call, misfires in terms of things that he's implemented, but I think in general, I will delete wall attacks. Shout out to Pablo's mom. Will Pablo come back after 3 days? Okay, fun fact, it was said on the most recent dev stream that Letty, the Trinity, is actually named after Pablo's mom, and then people started saying, that means I can date Pablo's mom, and Pablo was like, oh my god, I did not think this through. So that was funny.
Imagine if it's like the most picked option, and it's like, hey mom, you're the most picked dating option in the game I just made. It's like, what?
Moist critical video on Cool Kid. No, it's going to be a Nux Taku video where he falsely accuses me of being a pedophile with no evidence.
It's just like the one fucking furry.
That did actually, yeah, that did happen to a VTuber. I don't even watch them, but I have a bad habit. I'm going to admit this to you all. I like to listen to drama videos about shit I don't care about when I'm doing stuff. Because it's just background noise.
No stakes soap operas, you know?
And I watched a video about that situation where Nux Taku just straight up accused a VTuber named Taiga of being a pedophile with zero evidence on Moist Critical stream and ruined their reputation. I'd like to start shit. I respect that. Cool Kid, not like us. He codes some serious stuff. I'm pretty sure on his own Twitch channel, Pablo makes stuff. He's working on his own little side game, too.
That's based.
Yeah, I feel like when it comes to, like, I think the modern dev team is kind of more in touch with what players are, like, wanting to do or want out of the game. Whereas the old development team, while they still built an incredible game, were very ambitious and kind of like they were always chasing the next dragon instead of working on things that already existed. Because something I see often is, like, DE doesn't care about things that, like, they only care about new content. And, like, old DE, I think you could much more viably make that claim. Modern DE, dude, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah.
Like, the amount of Warframe reworks we've got full rainbow in these 3 Nestor cells. But, the amount of reworked content they've done in the last year or two alone is insane. After you get 5 or 10 million subs, yeah, that'll never happen. Check Discord. What the fuck are you talking about, Gazette? Recent allegations against Cool Kid. Cazette joined when the AI told Cazette that there's allegations against me. It happened. It fucking happened. Blast rework? Yeah, like... I feel like when it comes to that kind of stuff, like, there's stuff that I still think should get reworked. I wish invasion missions would have a reprised role in the game, for example. But, like, looking at even just, like, the last year alone, we've had 2 companion reworks, right? Part 1 and 2, which affected a huge amount of the game. Shields got completely reworked in Abyss of Daggeth. And then even beyond that, like with individual Warframe reworks, I mean, Hydroid, Inaros, Ember, Nova, Caliban, Frost. Like, there's been a lot of them recently. I think that coming out with the position of like, well, DE doesn't do anything with old content is just so provably untrue. I think a lot of it, like I said earlier, comes down to the whole they're not doing the things I want them to do, is what a lot of people end up in, I feel like. Has been hitting hard recently. I do still think raids shouldn't come back, but like the people who enjoyed them, that's fair. I don't think there should be content in this game you have to do with other people, but that's just my opinion.
Yeah, and his opinion is lost.
Yeah. Also, another Chroma rework. Yeah, like, I do hope that they catch up with that. Got reworked into liking men. That's true. that could one-shot the sun itself. I will say this, as one criticism of modern DE that I think is totally fair, the amount of power creep we've gotten in the last 4 years has been more than the previous 8 combined.
Weirdo.
This game would be an unplayable mess, I agree. But, like, the amount of power creep we've gotten is insane. Like, Angels contained a ton of power creep, Whispers in the Walls contained a ton of power creep. I think at this point, it's kind of ended up in a different situation, where, like, Warframe isn't really a Space Ninja game anymore. Early on, maybe it is.
Those days are long gone, I feel like, unfortunately.
Once you reach the end of the game, sort of, in terms of, like, you have access to everything, the game is much more of a power fantasy and, like, a number-crunching kind of game than a Space Ninja game.
Oh, the stealth in this game is just not there anymore.
I feel like I don't know, just, like, a lot of the new content we've gotten, 8 doesn't equal to 11. Warframe was in closed beta in 2012. So Warframe has been around for 12 years. The anniversary events is for its public open beta launch in March of 2013. The game, I think, released October of 2012 into closed beta. Because she wasn't something like Jade. Honestly, I will say this. When it comes to the Kome controversy, I think it's kind of mischaracterized. People out there do exist that say Kome is bad. That's stupid. I just want to kind of make my opinion on that known. Kome is very good. I think a lot of people's problem isn't that she's weak, it's that she takes so much effort to get going that it can make her unfun. Here's sort of my, I guess, I want to sort of give my position on that in terms of Kome. She's a good Warframe, absolutely, and she doesn't have to be able to blow up entire rooms to be fun. I think a lot of the criticism does stem from the fact she takes so much effort to get going, because, like, playing Kome with no decrees, she's not really that fun, and while the decrees make her a lot of fun, it takes a long time to get a considerable amount of them. Like, to put this into perspective, if you wanted to get every decree on Kome, it would take you between 5 and 6 hours.
Yeah, and that's bad.
And I don't think that you need every decree for Kome to be good, but the fact that you have no control over which ones you get, kind of bites. I feel like for Kome, if they reduced the cooldown, or made the cooldown start when you got the challenge, not after you finished it, that would help a lot. Or if they let you pick your decree. Because being able to pick your decree would potentially be too strong, but would make her more relevant in shorter missions, because she has more control over what she gets. I think that's really the main issue with Kome for a lot of people, is that she takes so long to get going, which means that she only really works in endless environments. Instead of playing where he paid taxes and shit, yeah, it's not like that actually does happen, unfortunately, and I accidentally committed tax fraud once. This is true, by the way, but it was resolved. It wasn't like I was audited or something. I came clean to the IRS when I found out I made a genuine mistake in my records. It was Google's fault, actually, but...
No, wait, I won't let it happen again. I'll make sure he fucking takes an actual... I should not say it on stream.
Yeah, probably not.
I will say it in the Discord, though.
I'm trying to catch up a little bit. Of the Duviri decrees, and the cooldown is fine. I'm going to be honest, I don't think she needs all of the Duviri decrees, and if I'm perfectly honest, a lot of the ones she doesn't have, she dodged bad ones. What advice for the bed monsters? Like, am I giving the bed monsters advice, or you advice for how to deal with them? Because if I'm giving the bed monsters advice, I think they should take you to the underworld. Should be gagged and only allowed to make muffled noises? Yeah, I agree, actually.
Huh?
For taxation pedophilia. The second claim is untrue. The first claim did accidentally happen, but we fixed it. For elaboration for anyone who wasn't here when I first explained this story, Google sent me a tax form with the wrong information on it one year, and I didn't realize it. So the next year I had to what's the process for it? I basically had to amend my old tax return and give them the correct information. So that was funny. And give her the bonus health and damage. I don't think she needs the bonus health and damage. Honestly, she doesn't even need the increased variety. Like, she has 120 decrees out of, I think, a total of 180, 190. A lot of the ones she can't get don't make sense or are not good. I feel like when it comes to Komei, her main issue, at least, because, like, I've played Komei in really long missions. Like, I stayed in a mission with Komei for over 3 hours. She is ridiculously good if you have a lot of decrees, even with her limited pool. Like, I was at about half the total decrees she could get, and she was ridiculously good. I actually have a clip of me just farming enemies with, oh, fuck, what's it called? Fault Finder. But I think that the main issue... Also, thanks for stopping by. Katyusha, I think is how I'd say that. But I don't think... What weapons were you using? I was using Higasa and Amanata. They were still doing really well despite that fact. Like, Amanata's solid. Higasa, I don't think is great. And, like, Higasa looked like a good weapon at that point. Amidst a clip farming. I'm not posting political content on my channel, so not yet. But... like, for me, the main issue with Komei is that non-endless missions, she isn't that fun, and we're giving her to new players who are not going to go to endless missions for an hour. That's not their goal at that point in the game. And then in regards to her 3 actually does give you shields if you have full health or over shields, but I do agree that it feels lackluster. If you 666 Omamori, it's really good. If you don't, it's not good at all.
Yeah.
Introduce primary influence, that would be the end. I do think in regards to her 3, personally, I think each charm should give you a little bit of damage reduction up to some cap, like say 8.
Fucking, what's it, 1?
Yeah, because then it still retains the gambling aspect of if you get like a low amount, you have less DR, but it also gives you more of a reason to use Omamori. Because honestly, like, it's her helmet slot. I still keep it on because it can be helpful, but if you don't 666 it, it sucks.
Yeah.
I will say this, though, they're not buffing Komei. I'm surprised, but I don't think they will. We've gotten no hotfixes in a while. I'm guessing we're probably going to enter a hotfix hiatus before 1999's release. I don't expect them to buff her. I think there are criticisms about Komei that are completely valid, like the ones I just mentioned with her taking so long to get going and her 3 being really underwhelming as a healing ability. But I do think that at this point they're not going to do anything. You get a better Mesmer skin. I mean, not entirely, because I'm pretty sure Mesmer skin also makes you status immune. But it is... I would say it's an overall... It's more of a side grade. Your invincibility lasts longer than Mesmer skin, but I don't believe she gets, like, the knockdown immunity and stuff out of it. Got reverted after day. That's because it was causing the game to crash. I don't think that's... Saying that a buff got reverted kind of implies it was reverted because it was too good. Like, no, Komei's was crashing the game.
Yeah, it was that good, it was crashing the game.
I was actually on vacation when that buff came out, so I never had to deal with it, but yeah, so I feel like Komei's still a good Warframe, she just excels in a very particular environment. I don't think that she's necessarily bad, it's just you have to have a lot of time on your hands, and most people don't want to do that. I thought about making a video about that, but I felt like contributing to a discourse like Komei's will just result in a fuck ton of toxicity, like Nidus. There's a difference there. Nidus takes 10 or 15 minutes. Komei takes 1 or 2 hours. I feel like that's something where it's kind of a false equivalency. Like, yeah, Nidus does take a while to get going, but a while for Nidus is not the same amount of time as a while for Komei.
Yeah.
Like, a while for Komei is 30 decrees after an hour, and honestly, sometimes you just get stuff that's not helpful. Komei is bizarre to me, because they gave her a lot of survivability decrees, but she's a very good shield-gating Warframe, and so they gave her a bunch of stuff that she doesn't really need, and then, I mean, her finisher decrees kind of struggle because she doesn't have a way to open enemies to finishers. I know that if you, like, Void Dash or something and then use Bunraku, they'll stay in that state, but she has no way in her kit to do it. She has to rely on something else. all she can do is just kind of preserve it. Because for those who don't know, if you have a knockdown enemy who's open to ground finishers, then you use her 4 on them, they'll get stuck in that state. But she doesn't have an ability that does that. She has to, like, slide kick or void dash or something. But, like, that's a bit grating as well. I also think if you are going to try and shield gate on her in a more conventional method, like, you know, brief respite and stuff like that, if you get envious economy, it'll just straight up screw you over.
Yeah, lol. What's that one even do again?
There's a chance when you cast an ability, your next one won't cost energy, which means that you can't get shields back.
Oh, from, like, Augur and shit? Yeah.
She strains while most ignore it. I do think that Kome is a frame that's fun.
Hey, let's make something. Make something.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Got it at least once. Actually, I can just do it to myself.
Activate the device.
Ooh.
That's why she has her 3. Her 3 is inconsistent. Same deal with, like, all of her survivability decrees. If you 666, don't mean anything. But I feel like that's one of those things where, like, the odds... This is something I want to make clear. The odds on Kome to get a 666 are not 3.5%. And the amount of people that say that, I think, is kind of shocking. Duplicate, fair enough. If you... I want to prove that you need shield getting to survive the late game wrong. This is actually going to be the next video, and I can talk about that in a second. But... with that, testing has shown that it's anywhere from 10 to 12%, last I heard. It's around 10 to 12%. Someone tested it. I think Kengineer has a video on it. I have yet to see it, though. He probably will go into better detail. But I think that entire myth is bizarre, because legitimately, if you've played Kome for more than 5 minutes, you'll know that it's not 3.5%. You 666 way too often for it to be 3.5%. And I think that rumor, like, having so much staying power, on the one hand, is kind of the fault of the developers that they are not stating what the percent chance is, because it's 10%. Okay, the math I had seen said 12%, but the fact that they have not stated what the math is, I think is bad of them, that they should say in-game what the odds actually are, because it's a very pervasive issue in the community that people don't know it and think it's the 3.5, but a lot of people that parrot that claim, I think they just haven't played the frame enough. When she rolled all 6s, I think it would be kind of fun, like, as a little, like, bone to toss, is that if you rolled all 5 6s, I think it would be cool if her passive applied to all of her weapons for the next minute. Just as kind of a generic increase to her effectiveness, but I don't think it's necessary. That won't allow for certain combinations. That makes sense. I've never seen all 1s, so I'm guessing that kind of stuff just isn't possible. Oh, 10 specifically because the game... Oh, okay, that makes sense. Because, yeah, I know you can't get certain values that are too low.
What the fuck is my not going to talk
What's good and bad in the game? Yeah, I feel like a lot of those discussions are also kind of fruitless. Like, anyone who was part of this conversation, you're going to feel called out by this, and I'm sorry for that. But I was in a voice call in my own server earlier. People were arguing back and forth about certain weapons and what you should and shouldn't use on them. And I'll be honest, this game is easy as fuck. You can use, a lot of the time, whatever the fuck you want. I don't think that you shouldn't or should use certain things because, like, it's what's best. It doesn't really fucking matter a lot of the time. Like, if you're going to pull up with, like, the Torrid, dude, I feel like you could just deliberately mod that thing wrong and it'll still be fine. A lot of the stuff in this game is just that good. About new Warframes, many such cases, I will forever have flashbacks to, Stug. People have... I'm pretty sure Dystopia has a Stug level cap video.
As in, he's actually made it good?
Yeah, are you getting in here or what?
Yep, sorry, I was just finding my Nagana Tonka. Apparently it was fucking... Even though it's in the... It's, you know, starts with N, it was way up there in the fucking C's. When
I wonder if you favorited it or something.
I don't think so, because it wasn't in, like, the top.
Level cap Stug, indeed.
I won't lie.
I thought maybe we were sorting by polarity. I guess I don't know.
Hey,
but
yeah, no.
Nufor crit build. Crit Nufor actually does work just fine because of flat bonuses, which is kind of funny to me.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know, when it comes to the whole spreading misinformation about frames thing, yeah, after Angels of the Zariman, I've learned the Warframe community, like, has a kink for that shit. It is a very frequent issue in this game's community. Actually, what am I doing? I don't need to waste my energy on this. I can just switch to this Spirit of Resilience and just ball out for a second. But is how you mod it.
Oh, God.
Oh, for fuck's sake. How are you all the way back there?
I didn't make it past the stop because I kept getting fucking shockwaved.
Hold on. I gotta fucking grab Nitro before I read the chat any further.
Sorry, I'm gonna be honest, I may have hit 2 instead of 3, or 3 instead of 2 instead of turning my glue. I may have just killed myself. But,
anyhow. It's called the Atomos. Now, when it comes to, like, crit has a really, or the Nucor has a really high crit multiplier, but that's the kind of thing, it's like, that's how you mod the weapon. You can mod Nucor wherever the fuck you want. It's powerful enough it doesn't matter. Like, yeah, that's a very good way to mod it, but... Jade could do that, yeah. I decided not to rely on it because it was about to expire, but... Just using the Spirit of Resilience buff to try and, vibe while I'm searching for all of this. What's the color scheme of the wedding? Black, because Nitro can't see. So we have no colors at the wedding to be sensitive to disability issues.
yeah, I can't see because I'm autistic or some shit.
Sure. Them just straight buffs. Several augments are alternative ways for the ability to work. I agree that some of them being straight buffs is kind of shitty, but... Like, the one for Dag, I think, is a good example of, like, you trade its ability to be, like, a death safety net in exchange for using it as, like, a moment of being really strong. And yeah, Thermal Transfer is another neat augment that isn't necessarily a straight buff to the ability, just gives it an alternate function. Some are straight buffs, like Healing Flame or Icy Avalanche, for example, where they don't really, like, recontextualize the ability, they just make it better, and that's kind of that, but...
Necromex have, like, a fuckload of damage attenuation, right?
Like, for the player version?
For the ones in the labs here that we fight.
Here, yes, they do have damage attenuation.
So it's not worth it trying to fucking send my fucking 10 million blood ball at him.
I mean, it'll still deal some damage.
Yeah, some. I still remember easily getting like a fucking. I actually got to like the E numbers when we were fighting the fucking Steel Path. What's it? What the fuck is the guy called? The fucking one with like a bajillion health and shit.
Oh, the one? The fragmented one?
The Zealots. Yeah, Zealots.
Oh, Zealoid.
Zealoid, yeah, and then I would hit him with it, and it would do like maybe like a fucking centimeter with the bar, but then I would hit him like 700,000, and it would do like a shitload, and I'm just like, oh yes, this makes sense.
Zealoid is just a shit boss.
It really is, yeah.
Talks red crit Cedo. If you want to pull off that strat, I think that's another good example of a thing in this game where it's just like, yeah, you can just kind of use whatever. Red crit Cedo is a thing that does actually work for its alt fire because of the existence of final crit bonuses. My frame rate is struggling.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I think, like, Warframe is an easy game, and there's no necessarily right or wrong way to build things, but people constantly act like there is and get into really frivolous arguments about it, and I think it's a complete fucking waste of time.
Yeah.
Because, like, it's one of the things with, like I said, I even see it in my own Discord, and while I personally find it grating, but I think there's no point in trying to argue, if I'm honest. Where it's just like, this conversation is completely meaningless when a lot of that stuff happens. Was Ballas at the Diddy party? I'm not sure. Phoenix was our foremost expert on that situation.
Oh, you better say Phoenix was, and I'm just like, okay.
From normal pistol mods. As in the alt fire of it? No. I'm pretty sure the alt fire still does not benefit from multi-shotter base damage. The primary fire does, which is why I'm using Deathbringer on my 2, but...
Naginataka is like a headshot focus weapon, right?
It's a video game, it's all meaningless. I mean, that's true. And yeah, Naginataka does rely on headshots quite a bit. I guess it doesn't need them.
I realized that
but
at the time when I brought this in here.
It's a single target weapon. Most of them do, considering it's a 3 times damage increase.
I only took it because, you know, it's a signature weapon and shit, you know?
The colorblind allegations. You know, perhaps. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like a lot of the discourse in the Warframe community about, like, how you should play something is just kind of a complete waste of time. But don't get me wrong. There are people that will say shit that's just wrong. That happens pretty regularly. But this is a very infamous thing to me in my own Discord that I remember, which was 2 people arguing over if you should use Vazarin and take an energy mod, like, for efficiency and mod for your energy economy, or if you should take Xeneric and mod for survivability. And they argued about this for, like, 45 minutes until I stepped in and told them to stop talking about it. And I was just sitting there thinking to myself, like, you two are arguing about the same thing. These are both valid solutions to the same problem. And both of you are so stuck about, like, well, my way is the correct way, that neither of them would realize that. They were both talking about the same thing, and they both had completely viable solutions to the same thing. It's like, the classic turn of phrase, right? Oh god, what is it? There's more than one way to skin a cat? That's pretty sadistic, I'm not gonna lie, but you get my point, right? There's more than one way to solve problems that you encounter in a game like Warframe. Just on my last gasp and be done with it. Why the fuck would you skin a cat? I mean, my brother actually did in his advanced biology class. It was dead and donated for science, but he did do it.
Tell him about the mink.
There's more than one way to kill a mother of fly with a brick. Oh god, the mink was something I encountered. When I took college-level anatomy in high school, one of our projects was to dissect a mink that had been preserved in formaldehyde, and one of my group members gets out their mink from its body bag, right? And that thing, like, is sideways. Like, at its midsection, it is cocked in half, like 70 degrees. And I made the comment that their mink looked like a staircase, because it did. And my teacher was like, what the hell? And so she was just like, because she looked at, our goal was to dissect the mink and find different structures in their body. And my teacher was like, I don't know if you can do this. Because she only orders enough minks for, the amount of groups. She's not going to get excess minks. What the fuck do you do with them if you don't need them?
If I have too many minks, what do I do with these?
So she was just like, I guess find whatever you can. And the majority of its insides were straight up liquefied. Like, they could hardly do the assignment.
They still got passed for it though, right?
Yeah, they did, because it wasn't their fault.
Good.
But I remember one of the people who got it, his name was Tanner, like, mimed that he was going to slam it into the side of a desk, because it looked like it had already been through that. How did that mink die? It honestly seemed like it fell down the stairs or something. It was pretty fucking funny, though. Just hit it with a sledgehammer. I don't know about the minks. With the cats, that I didn't dissect the cat, my brother did. But those were cats that had died of natural causes and were donated to the university that they partnered with.
We'll have to put like a fucking notice to that or some shit as well.
If you could get me real quick. Actually, I might be able to recover because I armor stripped. Okay, yeah, I'm good.
Didn't look like it's going to have to like specify that it's not like fucking.
No, anyone who was in the class was completely banned from taking any pictures because parents would get mad about it despite it being completely normal. Because, like, apparently that did happen once, and people were like, they're skinning cats from the street. And it's like, no the fuck they're not. The unfortunate thing is if you live in small-town Iowa, you'll find out that every parent is fucking stupid, which is why all their children are stupid.
Yeah.
Ohio moment is also natural causes. I don't think getting hit by a car is a natural death, personally. I was thinking, like, dying of old age or something, not, being run over. What did I come back to? Not important. Yeah, I also did dissect a squid in my biology class my sophomore year, which was interesting. We had the choice between a squid or a baby pig, and I was the only group that chose the squid, and we were done like a week before everyone else, because the squid was way fucking easier. It sounds important. I guess you'll have to
you know,
rewind, Liam. Sorry.
Mink.
For their bio classes, real.
Wonder Albrecht planned on doing with that.
It's completely normal to vivisect cats. I didn't say vivisect. That's different. That would imply they're still alive.
Oh,
That's not
Jesus.
what happened. They were already dead. You're not pulling a fast one on me with that shit. That is not what I
No, they
said.
fucking killed them beforehand. Don't worry.
The cats had already died of natural causes and were donated by their owners for the purpose of being dissected for biology.
Natural causes. Say hi, natural causes.
All right, what are we gonna get? A Tau Forge Red. We take those. We're vivisecting Cool Kid. Is this him addressing the allegations? Maybe. So I think the V in Evelyn V stands for Veal Devourer still. They died of natural vivisection. True. Well, I guess we can go do the Archon hunt now. That's the other big weekly thing. Vivisect Evelyn. Real. Oh, holy shit, I got a friend invite.
Hey, yo.
Hell yeah. John Warframe. Bisection gaming? Bisexual gaming, even? Every letter in my name means something different. Evelyn lore? You should make a video about this, Evelyn. I'm gonna pop my Iron Wake and stuff real quick.
Yep.
I johned my Warframe. Indeed. My method stats are... I might have missed it. The chat moves quickly enough, and I have to focus on the game enough I struggle. You can probably hear me get quieter when I do this and look over at my other monitor to read the chat messages. Buy these up real quick. War of the Frame. You know, fair enough. You'll have to face off against John Warframe. Oh, was the friend invite message? I read it, I just didn't read it aloud. My apology. My dog has stirred. What are you doing, Molly? Oh, my dog's... I don't know. She's just hanging out over there, I guess. We'll re-invite Nitro. This shouldn't be terribly difficult. I don't want the stream to go on too terribly long. I wonder if Nick is even awake again. I don't think he is. I think he lied to me about his nap.
Ah, typical. We can just spam ping him, I guess.
I don't think the live reaction is right. No, what is the value? You have to find the value of Cretin. Yeah, my helmet is Veal Devourer now. The creature. I'm gonna do the Defense Archon mission. Yeah, it's Sabotage, Defense, and, Nitro, are you joining? I didn't hear what you said.
What? I thought I hit accept. The fuck?
I'll stay on Jade. She's kind of prone to being one-shot, but I'll just die. It's
Shouldn't
fine.
have an invite.
For fuck's sake. Invite number 3. There we go. I just don't do them. I still try to complete my Archon hunt every week, but I agree that they are boring.
Yeah.
John Company on stream. What is that? Molly, did you fuck off? My dog likes to hang out near my PC because it's warm, and she has a bad habit of sitting or, like, trying to lay on my power strip, and I'm afraid she's gonna turn it off. I will say, I've been kind of back and forth if I want to do anything for Halloween. Last year we did the Halloween horror game stream, but it was a complete shit show, I'm not gonna lie. Like, the viewership wasn't great, but I completely expected that, so that wasn't the problem. All the horror games I played were fucking boring. Minus Iron Lung, which is not a game you want to stream.
Yeah.
But what breed is your dog? My dog is a, My dog is a pug, and she sheds like fucking crazy. She's also old as fuck. She's 15 years old, which is a few years outside of her expected lifespan. Rolus Bolus, perhaps. Evil's content. Yeah, that's true. I do need to finish Signalis. I've considered playing it for that stream. Oh, I got the bug where, yeah, my control key was stuck. Pretty good for a pug. She's also a toy pug, so she's like a third of the size of a normal pug. She was expected to die, I believe, at or around the age of 12, and she's 15, almost 15 and a half now, I think.
Oh, yeah.
She is somehow still alive. I don't expect her to be around for much longer, honestly, considering how old she is, but it's weird. I've had Molly, my dog, since I was 7. I've had her for a very long time. I don't want to get too sad on the stream, but it is weird to think about that. Like, most of my life I can remember my dog has been alive.
Yeah.
And there will come a point where that's not the case anymore. What breed is Nitro? Breedable. From around a corner? Yeah, I think that's a fair assessment.
Oh god, it's a Nama hack, right?
I hear it's going to botch the entire operation.
Typical.
Scooby-Doo. On my Warframe stream, yeah, sorry, I'm like the new AGGP. Don't worry, I have to up my elitism and start being more condescending. We'll get there, we'll get there. I'll be the new Rob. We'll get there, everyone.
This fucking exaggeration though is stupid.
Like Uncrustables? Sure.
I don't think
Cool
Cook
likes
is
to
Modi,
stay
though.
on top of things, indeed. People will still accuse me of being the bottom, but that's no one's business.
Only sometimes.
Okay, you know what? Unrelated. Does anyone else find it weird that the internet... Well, this is related, but unrelated to Warframe. Does anyone find it weird that the internet has made sharing so much about your sex life, specifically if you're gay, like, normal? I think that's weird.
That comes as a side effect of us being made normal, babe.
Well, that's not necessarily, because I feel like... the amount of people where it's, like, asking a question like, are you a top or a bottom, is not the kind of shit that you'd say to a straight person.
Well, I mean,
like,
because
sure.
you know, basically, unless they're weird.
Not... What the fuck is that? Okay, there's enough to unpack there, I'm just not addressing it. Like, when it comes to stuff like that, like, yeah, there are people who are straight that overshare about their sex lives, but when it comes to, like, being, you know, gay of some variety, it's almost, like, expected of you to answer that question. And I'll be honest, it makes me, like, when people have asked it to me unironically, it makes me kind of uncomfortable. Like, I don't feel like that's any information anyone needs to have access to, and I don't know why it's so normalized.
Yeah. I do genuinely think it's because it's, instead of thinking the men and women, like, you know, oh, obviously, you know, well, in typical roles, and it's like, oh, well, then how do you, you know,
Who wears the pants? That's an interesting way to word it. Like,
Basically,
I don't
is
know.
what I assumed.
I can kind of see that in the context of, like, if you're, like, at a gay club or something, and it's more of a... Are far too comfortable when finding out that I'm gay. I haven't had that experience, but I've heard of things like that. Straight women asking very weird questions to gay people. People act like they committed a crime, yeah. Which one of you is the hunter and which is the gatherer? Real.
Well, I mean, Biff's right there, but, like, he's not involved, but...
You know, I don't know. I feel like it's one of those things where, like... I feel like I don't know. I feel like it's weird how normal it is. And I'm not going to say that that's not partially the fault of just the culture surrounding it. Because the number one group of people that will ask you who's the top and who's the bottom are other gay people. I just think it's none of their fucking business. And
Yeah,
I think
I mean,
it's
yeah.
weird.
Defense, yippee.
The pathetic girly wimp loser. Real. Like I said, I don't think, like, I've been asked about stuff like that by other queer people more than straight people. I just think it's a weird question in general. I don't know why it's so normalized. I don't know. It's one of those things, like, I feel like we're edging into a... Yeah, we're edging, sorry. We're erring into a topic that isn't particularly relevant and nothing I'm even necessarily an expert on. It's just a very surface-level observation of, like, why do people ask me this so regularly? I think it's fucking weird. Edging stream? Real.
That's so
More
different.
like not the question that would be asked in a sexual context. Yeah, I feel like that's the kind of, like, the boomer way of asking the who's the top and who's the bottom question is who's the man in the relationship. It's like that's the boomer method of asking
That's what people
that.
end up asking.
Like, functionally, that's kind of what... Like, it's the same sentiment, right? But
Yeah, I think that's genuinely what that is. Basically, it's just like their way of asking it or some shit without trying to.
what do you mean that you need an edging stream? What the fuck are you talking about, bro?
Hierarchy of needs, motherfuckers be like.
I hate all of you for talking like this. But I don't. Once again, it's just a surface level observation. I think it's kind of strange. When I randomly get confused on the street, my gender is $20. Like, oh, for fuck's sake! I was reading my chat. What killed me?
Oh, the
I'm slowed. What the fuck is slowing me? Look at how slow I am, too. Jesus
What
Christ!
the fuck?
What the fuck? Yeah, what is slowing me? Is there like an Arctic Eximus aura? Specifically, it's my operator. Huh. Anyways. Forced to goon. This chat would kill Ronald Reagan. Indeed. We're gonna give Chipper the thing.
The what?
I'm gonna try not to die. The healing bubble.
Yeah, I know.
Glitch with Jade's open eyes. Huh. That's inconvenient.
The what?
Jade's 3.
Oh, what's it doing?
Slowing allies, potentially.
What the fuck? They shouldn't do that, right? It shouldn't do.
Breeds hatred from ignorance. Okay. How do I put this? I am going to respond to this, actually. I feel like it's weird in any context to ask someone about their sex life, especially in a very, like, unprompted context. Like, if I was to approach a straight person and be like, do you like getting pegged? I don't think I'm entitled to an answer. I really don't think I'm entitled to an answer. There are certain things that I feel like should be kept private. Yes. I feel like, because here's the thing, like, if I was a friend of someone's and they had questions for me, I think that's different than random people, like, in my stream chat, for example, that I don't know on a personal level, saying things like, oh yeah, who's the top, who's the bottom? It's like, I don't think you're entitled to that information. I find that really weird.
Yeah, I understand that, though.
If I had, like, a friend who was, like, genuinely curious about that kind of thing, then yeah, I feel like I could have that discussion with them. Or if I was going into the conversation with that frame of mind. But the fact that it's normalized to just say to people, I think is weird.
Yeah. That's the straights for you.
Why are you asking? Are you gay? It's like, what, do you want to fuck him? Are you gay?
What, why, you want to join?
It's like top or bottom. The correct answer is unavailable. Ask them their credit card details before they ask you. Reasonable. You just gotta take, like, it's like the meme of, like, gay people who make being gay their entire personality, but they're actually pre-moving on people to tell them before they ask. It's all just a calculated effort.
You're not likely to get mercy from someone who's never been shown it. Now,
Are you bald? If not, you should change that. Or I didn't actually need to do that, I'm stupid. I did the correct thing, and then my brain broke, and I did the incorrect thing. My bad.
That happens all.
Not that anyone will notice what even happened there, I don't think.
I will.
Which one of you wears the clothes in the relationship? Ideally, me. We tell you from across the chat and like your vibe. It's like a more inclusive version of who's the man and who's the woman. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like it just, in general, it's a very weirdly normalized question to be asked. But I don't think there's anything productive to come from elaborating on my position further. Because some people will disagree with me, and I'm going to start being hit with, like, political terms that I don't think are necessarily relevant.
I thought you were talking still about, like, specifically the fucking top and bottom. It's like, do they want to agree with you? It's like, what, they won't accept that you...
Which one of you is the man and which one of you is the other man? Yeah, exactly, Evelyn. Who's the man and who is the other man in the relationship? That's what they should really be asking. Who's the chat and who's the revenant? Real. The woke mob won't let you kiss the homies goodnight. I agree. I can't believe, like, it's the thing where it's like, try to come out as being attracted to the fucking Cookie Crisp mascot. See how much acceptance you get from the tolerant left. I fucked up that joke and it wasn't nearly as funny, but it happens.
It's still a Firebait character, I suppose. It works.
Who's the Shrigma male? Who's the one who skishes the spider? That's honestly, that's the better question, Rogue.
What?
Who's the one that squishes the spider in your relationship?
Oh, him. I'm definitely allergic to spiders.
I was gonna say, yeah, it is me. Who's the mod and who's the kitten? Nice domain name, thank you. How can a bird fly with broken wings? It's true. This will save America.
Huh?
Who's the nuts? No fucking way. This mission's taking an eternity.
I just got a what?
Who's the cup and who's the drink? Fucking Phoenix alt account head ass. Also, what'd you pick up?
A fucking war piece.
Oh yeah, the Battleless and Conculus drop war. You can get Shadu pieces from the Summel, or not the Summelists, the Shield dudes. I can't think of their name right now, but they drop those. Who's the cuck and who sits in the chair?
Cuck, obviously.
Who's the male 07 head and who's the toilet? All right, that's too far, Evelyn.
What?
What the fuck does the chat summary say? Honestly, good question. I wonder what the chat summary says. The war piece is real, indeed. Discussing different topics. It's such a non-committal chat summary. That's lame.
Damn.
It should be dropping F-slurs left and right. That's what it should be doing.
No.
I would rather not get issues taken with my channel by YouTube.
Fine.
If they find out that I you know, have a boyfriend, they'll start demonetizing me.
Shit, you right.
YouTube unironically like, we support queer creators, and then just demonetizes all of them, and it's like, thanks guys, really cool. I'm glad.
I thought you mained
Shut the fuck up.
Okay.
No one's even gonna get that joke. They're calling for their slurs bait. When I say on the balls in the relationship, real. No rights, yeah, real and true.
Base.
Who's the Mercy Maid and who's the DPS that gets pocketed? This is too Overwatch 2 for me. I'm gonna overdose of fucking cringe. It's so boring. I agree, this mission is boring. It's taking a while because I didn't do my normal cheese strategy of just playing Sobek Saren to make it go as fast as possible. I thought Jade was kind of fun and felt like playing her. My bad.
Yeah. It happens.
Who's the medic and who's the heavy?
I mean, on one hand, I'm the medic, but like on the other hand, I also try to main heavy. So, and he hasn't played TF2.
The real questions. Yeah, I haven't played TF2. Stick myself with that so I don't die. Wake up, Big Floppa 2. Jade can't die to a Jade Light Eximus. That's way too ironic. Yeah, the update never.
Yeah, honestly, I just give up hope at this point.
Galaxy gas. You know, that's a good question. People just be out here inventing completely new drugs. I guess Galaxy Gas isn't a new drug. It's just the commercialization and marketing of it to teenagers.
Isn't it just like nitrous or some shit?
It is nitrous, but you can use it for a high that's very damaging. Huffing things in general is very damaging to your brain. And the Galaxy Gas company is like, well, it's for culinary things, like whipped cream. And it's like, you could make, I think, like 2,000 jars of whipped cream with the size that they sell. Like, they know. They fucking know. Who's the simp and who's the AI girlfriend?
Yes.
Scan's doing fine.
Who's the Titan and who's the pilot? Does that mean Jade is an incarnation of Greg? I wonder if is Jade like Greg's like avatar?
Huh?
I wonder if, or maybe like predecessor. Oh my god, what if the baby is Greg?
Who the fuck are we talking about? Like Greg's and Greg
Greg
Taker?
lore. Greg lore.
God!
Holy
Got
shit.
one big by a battlist.
Greg is the baby, I'm convinced. My Warframe OC. I'm trying to read, I'm just shooting at nothing. It's always funny when I watch my VODs back and I can tell when I'm reading the chat because I'm just playing like a complete fucking buffoon.
Yeah, it happens.
Oh, Chipper. Okay, he did touch it. I was gonna say, like, bro, please. Deleting your neurons real time. Huffing things in general does that, as far as I'm aware. Like, take this with a bit of a grain of salt, because this is a lot of the stuff I learned like in high school health classes. But endless defense can last. I don't know if that's supposed to be flirty or you're like threatening to assault the person. Like, how many waves of me can you defend against? Can you survive 5 Nights at Freddy's while reading chat? Yeah, straight up. Inject it into your brain. I had the overlay on Streamlabs for a while so I could see the chat on the same monitor, but I stopped doing that because I don't like Streamlabs.
That's huge. I had a...
You weren't supposed to ingest. But yeah, like, generally, huffing things in general is very dangerous because of the fact that it, just from what I remember, like, reading about, it does straight up just kill your neurons. Like, huffing stuff can just, as the Warframe players would say, one-shot you. You can just die. In a swift fashion. I normally use Saren and the Sobek, the Kuva Sobek. That strategy gets through them pretty quickly. I'm not doing that right now and suffering the consequences.
Yeah.
It's not oxygen. I mean, yeah. No shield getting IRL. That's actually why there was 2 shots fired at JFK. We established this on one stream. It's because he shield gated the first shot. Oh yeah, this guy, the Symbolist. That's what I was thinking of. They dropped the Shadu pieces. To use your feet. That works on placebo. Galaxy gas, that's just like regular air. Chipper, fuck off. Protect this Mesmer skin, protect you from galaxy gas. Why did you type feet in all caps with multiple question marks, Zayek? What does that mean exactly?
Come on, you know what it means.
Oh, Rosie sent me a chat summary. Thank you, Rosie. I can't read it right now, but I'll have to look at it later. Of slotted adaptation, it was too high. He would have only gotten at best 10% before the second shot hit.
Yeah, no.
What he should have used was rolling guard. If he had a rolling guard, he could have done it. Like, if he had rolling guard, I think he would have had enough time. The problem is JFK hadn't played in a while and was still using the decaying dragon key, so he had minimum shield gate duration. He didn't know. He didn't know that they had changed it. What a buffoon. Right before you checked it? Oh, okay. Where's he gonna roll? In the backseat of a car? You can roll upstairs in Warframe, so I don't know what you're talking about. He's got options, okay? That's all I'm saying.
Not anymore, but like he had options.
Get this man catalyzing shields? Yeah, indeed. You'd think that, what was it, Robert Kennedy would have learned when he was assassinated, but no, he made the same mistake.
We had another Kennedy die?
Do you know? Yeah, Kennedy's brother also was assassinated when he was running for president.
Oh.
Both Kennedys were assassinated.
Damn.
John F. Kennedy be like, I am going to rein in the powers of the CIA. Fucking dies.
There is a plot to enslave a man more moonshine before I leave office. I won't get shot.
He failed his last gasp. True. That picture where like Jackie Kennedy is leaning over him, she's trying to revive him, but it's actually an EDA, and she should be looking for the Void Angel, but she doesn't know that.
The Void Angel is who the fuck was the vice president?
At the time, I don't remember. Also, see you, Rosie. Thanks for stopping by.
Oh yeah.
God damn it. Who the fuck added me in general? Oh, it was one of the chat summaries. The angel is right there. Yep, there it is. I knew someone was gonna say it. Who's the first bullet and who's the second? We are so lucky. This is surreal. You know, fair enough. That reminds me of a bit from a video I watched like way back on the in the day where someone was just like randomly broke out of the video and was like, "Robert, I know you're watching this." And like he at the end of it was like, "I don't know anyone named Robert." I thought it would really freak out one of my viewers. And like I've been tempted to do something like that. Just pick a random name and just be like, "I know you're watching this." That would be so fucking funny. A second Jade has hit the queens. True. What's in the offering shop? I've been trying to get all of the alt helms. I actually don't think I have any I need to purchase this week. Cool. Wouldn't Shieldgate because of the... Oh my god, I think you're right. What if... Okay, this is actually brilliant. The reason he couldn't Shieldgate, or his Shieldgate duration was so low, was his shields were down because the hijack objective that was the motorcade. Oh my god, that actually makes sense. He had low Shieldgate duration because he was pushing the motorcade. Oh my god. I think you're right. I think you're right. Good analysis. JFK was playing hijack. That's why his Shieldgate duration was so low.
He expected to overgun like a retard.
I have to add this. Hold on. I have to add this to the Warframe Dark Lore document. Hold on. I think that's what it was called, was Dark Warframe Lore. Hold on. Fuck, I have to find this. Oh, is it Obscure War? Yeah, Obscure Warframe Lore. Alright, let me just add this to this. JFK had low shields because he was pushing the motorcade, and just parentheses, hijack. Okay, I have to add that for the future video. Thank you for reminding me.
I don't think you should answer that.
What kind of frame is JFK? I guess we'll never know. This isn't a bit. I do have a joke document called Obscure Warframe Lore full of shit like this. Yeah, that does explain why the car was moving so slowly. JFK, like, that's why Jackie Kennedy couldn't get out of the car, right? Because then it would start moving backwards because the corpus would start capturing it back. These are important things to consider. Like claiming Baruch beats children, that one's just true. That one's just true.
Yeah.
And Jade Light and Gamer Girl Bathwater. What the fuck? The Hurry House. What modded is Rubico for Toxin? That could have happened too. This chat is surreal. Fair enough. His stasis ran out. I do think that for him, I think that it's a good theory. His shield gate duration was low because he was moving the hijack objective. So he died quickly. This is so sad. This is indeed so sad. Oh yeah, that's true. If it was a swordy one, then he would have been nullified. That's correct. Did Donald Trump have Overguard? He was actually the one time that EMP aura was useful because it reduced the enemy accuracy.
Let's go.
Yeah, Trump just was using EMP aura. Warframe. Once Side09 comes out, I do want to do a shitpost video about this. Trump was Nick's. Yeah, he had the path of 20% evasion bonus. And then he got shot, and I was so confused. So you're Australian. Why does this information even matter? Why would you even be told
Canadian
this?
9/11 like fucking copy paste?
That one does go hard. I'm not gonna lie. That one is really fucking funny. The biggest like thing to keep in mind when playing Oberon is you have to tactically make sure that your idiot teammates touch the lead carpet.
Where is the carpet?
Wrong Sly Vulpaphyla? Yeah, dead ass. Once again, this is my punishment for looking at the chat, walking into a wall.
It happens. Well, to me, at least. This game really sucks because I can never tell where the walls are because they always keep changing.
Real. I can't believe Cool Kid died of Steve Jobs. God, that reminds me of the fucking thing with my cousin Nick, where he was like, I can't believe Steve Jobs died of Ligma. My brother Hunter just replied, who the hell, or no, it was, who the hell is Ligma? And then Nick replied, Steve Jobs, before then realizing that what he said made no sense and laughing his ass off. And I still quote that on the regular, just Steve Jobs. Your cousin Nick's real. Oh my god, the D&D check. You're right, I didn't enable it. Good catch. Why? Oh, my text field's not selected. Good catch. We appreciate it, Norman. I didn't even realize.
Sporky, no!
Karl Marcus. That reminds me of that fucking one thing where it's like communism is better than capitalism because everyone is equal. And someone just replied like, why don't you define those words for me, Karl Marx? And the kid just replies, I will not do that. 1v1 me in Fortnite. I will clap you. And it's just like, damn. Steve, yeah, I agree. Steve Jobs does go crazy. Just, who the hell is Ligma? Steve Jobs. Like, the worst part about this to me is Nick didn't say that as an intentional joke. His brain actually just got confused and he said that without thinking. And then just broke down laughing. Goddamn, real. I think I'm probably gonna end the stream after this, maybe a little bit later. But it's almost 10. Damn. Unfortunate. Can you please fucking die and stop linking to new enemies? Thank you, jack off. Not you. Later. Anyways, it's 10 a.m. Damn. So for me, it's almost 10 p.m. I cast bad internet. My internet's good enough that rarely happens, except for when my mom unplugged the router.
Yeah.
I don't know if anyone was here for that stream, but that psyop was so funny. Like, for those who don't know, I had a stream one time where my mom was visiting, and my internet just happened to go out during that stream. And so I jokingly told Phoenix to tell my chat that my mom unplugged my router, and they did it, and the chat actually believed them, and my mom was so fucking mad about it. She was like, you tell your chat that I didn't unplug the router. I'm like, Mom, I can't tell them. You unplugged the router. I have no internet. It was so fucking funny. She was so mad about it. Send a cool mom to unplug that guy's router. That's just, yeah, instead of like mods, it's just like, Mom, unplug that guy's router. Thank you for digging up nothing, worthless ass Kubro. Marksmanship, accuracy even.
Karl Marksmanship. Where's the fucking...
Getting sued by your own mom for defamation. Spend more. I might have to seal you in a large mason jar. Reasonable. Also, is my mom single? No, but even if she was, no. No. Not for you, she's not.
Not a good idea.
Yeah, even just beyond the fact that my mom is not an amazing person. I didn't realize you were into people that were in their late 40s. I'm gonna build my galvanized stacks a bit. Alright, you bitch. It's time to die.
No, just... Boom.
He didn't use any of his bullshit abilities a single time. I can fix her? No, you can't.
Boreal is down. Narmer's spine eyes have been
You worship this enormous gold stick man named Mason? That kind of goes crazy, actually. Wouldn't we fuck if feds were sadistic goth girls? They are. Have you never pulled the wiretap from the chest of a goth girl? I accidentally rolled. My bad. Nitro will get here eventually. I don't even give a shit what I get from this. Well, would you look at that? Tau Forge don't ask Flary to do the face. Well, would you look at 20% chance? Too bad.
Too blue.
I'm sorry. I'm gonna have to screenshot this. I'm going to throw it in staff for record-keeping purposes. Just a story in 2 parts. My apologies, that was my Windows, not yours. There we go. Yaoi shrubs, real. Yeah, the Yaoi shrub is a reoccurring Duviri stream bit. What is even in the circuit? Oh, it's week 3, right? I don't even need any of these, so I don't particularly care, but I actually do recommend Mark 1 bow, funnily enough. It's a good stat stick. Is your uncle single? What the fuck are you talking about? Which one?
Yeah, which one, bro?
I don't think any of them are, actually. Yuri shrubs? Don't say that. Rosie might come back. You might alert her. If they add Yuri shrubs, Rosie will finally actually play Warframe again. Oh, I think we'll wind down the stream for a bit. I'm going to send Nick the Trollge gif real quick, because it's funny. There we go. We'll just hit him with that real fast. 50% of people you know queer. Quite a few of them are. Warframe just has a lot of people that are either queer or furries. I don't entirely know why. It's just kind of like how it works.
Is therefore reluctant to allow animals on board.
Is Liam still here? I'm surprised I haven't been asked the question yet. Maybe they're not here anymore and I'm safe for now. I'm not sure. Violence is queer friendly. As in the Acolyte, or as in like beating up other people? Siobhan, real. I should be really happy if you did that. Happy birthday to Nick. I love about that. I sent that to Nick on his birthday. I think this year, actually. Just that edited clip was like, happy birthday to Nick. And then it starts playing this happy, like, music. It's like, happy birthday, Nick. I'm still here. Fine. I'll appease you. Are you happy, you sick freak? Yeah, someone posted where they edited it, so like after the word Nick, it just stopped. And so I said that to Nick on his birthday. I think it was a couple days after. I just sent him that. My tummy hurts. You're going to die, Zayak. You're going to die. You're going to die. Can we make Chalaban? No, there's not going to ever be another chat anything. Look, the chat loadout, we have Che Writes. I don't think I actually finished. Oh yeah, this is Steady Slam, Gaze, and Splat are the parts for Che Writes. I forgot about that. That was incredibly violent. What was the kit gun for this one called? It was, yeah, Chite of 87. And then we had Cheetsa Cutter was the Sheets Cutter was the Zaw. And then we have Chetty Chaz Bear, who is the chat Moa. Someone explain the bit. My chat, I had them make me a fashion for Revenant. It turned out poorly. This is the chat-made loadout. We have Chevenant, Che Wrights, Chite of 87, Sheets Cutter, and Chetty Chaz Bear. Cheetah Stream was so funny. The Cheetah gives me trauma. The local Papa John's will probably kill me on sight if they find out who I am. And I deserve it. Why instead of CHA? Just because I just did CH. So he's Chevenant because I just replaced the beginning of his name. Actually goes so hard. Yeah, Chetty Chaz Bear over here. He even has, if you look, we gave him the most accurate to Freddy feet, which is why his legs don't really fit with the color scheme of the rest of him. It's a different material. But he's got the toes. He's got the top hat. This Necromite is getting in my fucking way. You get to die too. I agree. I like Papa John's. I don't want them to kill me. I think they're looking to kill me. Deserved. I wonder if they've seen the thing in chat, actually. I will not. Cool Mom unplug his router right now. Real. No cheese, extra salt. Oh my god, wait, have I... Okay, this reminds me. Have I told everyone on here the story of me sending my friend Walter a bunch of giant Cheez-Its? Have I talked about this before? I think this is something I should end the stream off with, because it is... I think it's pretty funny. Anyone remember if I've told the Cheez-It story? Walter. Nun pizza with left beef. I turn on the chat summary. I think you have to just refresh the page. And it'll show up. Okay, so there was a bit. This was many years ago now. Taco Bell had a feature in their app where you could share tacos with people as a way to get them to use the app. They'd have to redeem a code in the app. And so I sent a few people tacos as a bit, and no one ever claimed one. So out of anger, I told Walter that I was just going to forcefully send him a bunch of tacos. And then our mutual friend Noah actually sent me Walter's address. So I did as I promised and sent him a dozen tacos over DoorDash. And he ate them while staring into his camera while sitting in a shopping cart that was just for some reason in his dorm room. So fast forward to a few months ago, which would be like 3 years after the initial thing. And I told Walter that for some reason you can order a bunch of the giant Cheez-Its at Taco Bell. And so I told him that I was going to order him a bunch of giant Cheez-Its. And Walter was like, you know what? Fine, that's fine by me. And Walter sent me his address to send him the giant Cheez-Its. Let me grab this. I want to show... This is what the order was. Let me grab this from Walter and I's DMs. I legitimately, after I, had this ready, I was sitting there laughing my ass off as I looked at it. This is what the DoorDash order was. The one... Fun fact, they forgot the sauce packet. So it was 15 giant Cheez-Its. I thought about doing more, but I didn't want to spend an insane amount of money. But I sent him 15 giant Cheez-Its, 1 large mug root beer, and the single sauce packet. They didn't get the sauce packet, and one of Walter's roommates was like, how the fuck am I supposed to eat this without my sauce packet?
That's why you dip it in the mug. That's why you...
Oh, is that each? The $18 is total for all 15 of them.
I can't imagine if a single big cheese was $18 each. Holy shit.
The problem is between the delivery fees and shit, this order was like $30, which is why I didn't add more. You could order up to 50, which I considered doing. I don't have any documentation of the original Taco Bell incident, because the original with the 12 tacos was so long ago that nobody had saved anything from it. If I ever have Walter on stream again, he could talk about it, though. Because Walter, I don't know, was anyone here for the tweaking on the Morbius Plasma stream with Walter and Noah? You guys might actually know who I'm talking about. Walter and Noah were on my stream once. This was many years ago now, though. I still keep in touch with them, but we don't do stuff as often. But anyone who watched the, like, tweaking on the Morbius... Or no, it wasn't tweaking on the Morbius Plasma. It was the Urelli stream. Yeah, that was the one. Tweaking on the Morbius Plasma was after that, after I actually got the Morbius Plasma. Have a good night. See ya, Sci-Fi. Thanks for stopping by. But it was the one where we discovered the Morbius Plasma was with them. But yeah, Walter and Noah were on my stream for that one. They said that if I got so many likes, they'd do a Morbius Plasma dunk tank. Fun fact, I do still have my Morbius Plasma. I drank 1 cup of it, and I didn't sleep for 2 days. I don't know what's in that shit. It's not meant for human consumption. I feel like if a fucking horse drank that, they'd probably die still. And, like, I didn't drink more than I was, like, supposed to. I followed the directions. That shit was insane. I'm amazed I lived. You have a horse to test? This is, in fact, true.
Wait, what are we testing?
If the Morbius Plasma will kill a horse.
Oh, shit. Well, I'm already dead, but,
Opinion on Necros? I think he's okay, I guess. He's a good Warframe overall. I just don't play him much. Why did they make Morbius Plasma G Fuel? I don't know. Has anyone seen the, Gamer Sups lean that has the picture of Joe Biden on it, and the White House got mad at them, so they changed so Joe Biden is wearing like the glasses with a mustache and nose, but it's still Joe Biden. That shit is hilarious. Morbius Plasma. It's a flavor of G Fuel. It's not even that bad tasting, but dude, that stuff fucked me up. I was like I said in the title, I was tweaking off the Morbius Plasma. Do you still have it? I do still have my Morbius Plasma somewhere around here. I'll take it. No, it's my prized possession. It's probably not even good anymore, but I should still have it around here somewhere. In Andrew Tate's daddy coin? No, because Andrew Tate's a con artist. I say artist, it's pretty transparent. Does G Fuel go bad? Probably not. I don't know. How do you say this so calmly? It's called being desensitized, I think. When you can meow at the sun. I don't think you're supposed to do things at the sun.
oh, right.
The Tate, an insult to art itself. That's true. I agree with that, actually. Sorry, Nick has replied to my message. I should just tell him Steve Majobs. Who was meowing? Nitro. He does that sometimes. Sparkle Dog and Visit Wally. You know what? Yeah, I think every stream does deserve a visit to Wally. We haven't even had our lurker moment.
Yeah. On the bottom, I guess. That
Wally.
means I can meow, I guess.
Nitro's doing the thing.
It's either because I'm a bottom or I'm autistic or some other shit that means I can meow.
You always blame something. Trying to read this chat. That is typically what happens, yeah. Alright, here is Wally. And let's grab the Sparkle Dog real quick. Not decorate shit, my bad. Misinput. Boruna. Alright, we got the Sparkle Dog. Alright, here's gonna be our certified lurker moment. If you've just been lurking in chat, you know, haven't been saying much, just have kind of been around, go ahead and type hi Wally in chat to let me know that you're here and that you're alright. If we could have some hi Wallies, give us some hi Wallies, please. Wally does appreciate it whenever we visit them.
What is this PNG game from?
It's one of the business's lore fragments. It's concept art for the Vermink.
Oh.
Say hello to Wally, everyone. Thank you all, thank you. That nose, yeah, he's got the nose, he's got the beady eyes. He's so low resolution if I look at him this way. Like, so, like, here's the thing. Let me get a display of some kind. It doesn't matter what kind, I just need to be able to view the art that you can attach to it. It is, yeah, Bismem fragment. Is it, I think it's business? The business? Yeah, the business. It's this one. This is what the full image looks like of Wally.
Oh,
Look at how big his feet are for some reason. But
course
yeah,
you will.
this is the full image of Wally, right? And then, what the fuck?
some big sniffs in chat. So
I just ended up doing this. I just zoomed it in as much as possible, and then like focus it on his face because I thought it was funny. Oh my god! Wait, we can flip Wally vertically. Guys, check it. Vertically flipped Wally. Hummies. There's some interesting stuff in here.
Which finger the corpus used to count their
Corpus Cruise. Oh god, they're still upside down. Looks like, yeah, the Albrick's notes art is in here and stuff like that, as well as a bunch of fan art that's made it into the game officially. The Oh my god, wait. Oh, right, no, Bayrat can't watch these anymore because he's Turkish and they banned YouTube in his country.
is that why he's not here anymore?
Yeah, that's the unironic real reason. I was gonna say you can now have a bigger Garuda to goon over, but I don't know if Bayrat ever actually added me back on Steam. Duviri Paradox? Oh, where did the preview image for this is completely blank. I have a lot of interesting fan art stuff in here. Oh, I think these are also like some of the art for the Soma chords are in here. I would know, unfortunate. Look at all this. Oh my god, proto frame leak? Ember proto frame leak. Unreal. They turned Eleanor into an anime girl. She's using a Furus. Hold on. Look at this. Meta slave behavior. Unreal. We're deleting this immediately. Slay. Real and true. Well, I think that's more or less going to be it for this stream. If anyone... We'll go for like 5 more minutes. We'll go till 2.5 hours. If anyone has any questions or anything like that, feel free to ask them now. And then we'll cut the stream here shortly. Don't mention about the OcuCore or Lex. Furus as Incarnate is still ridiculously good, so we'll hang out here by Wally. What is the project you're currently working on? I didn't mention it earlier, but the video I'm currently working on is a video. The working title is just called Is Damage Reduction Dead? Where it's an exploration of what I think is kind of a pervasive myth of damage reduction not being good at Steel Path level, and it'll go over different survivability strategies and stuff like that to explain why I don't think that's entirely true. Join you in crippling insanity? Well, there is the Discord, I guess that's kind of it. I have a Twitter account, but I never check it. For like 4 hours. That's probably not a good thing to realize now. I hope the oven was off. It's super good. Yeah, the main thing that I try to go over is the way damage reduction stacks. It's just been sitting there. Damn. But with... So, like, okay, we're going to do a bit of a brief explanation of this to kind of get across what I'm talking about. So, have you or Nitro ever ridden a real horse? I mean, if you count me riding no.
Not yet, no.
So, I want to explain something here. We're going to do a little bit of math to end the stream off, I guess. Sorry, everyone. Bad ending. So, let me grab a text thing real quick. They only have the GDI, whatever. It doesn't matter. So, here's the formula for this. I'm going to show this on screen, and it's going to frighten people. Rosie's not here, so we have one less gay person to scare with this. Hold on. Let me just type this real quick. Or sorry, it's 1 minus dr1. And then times 1 minus dr2. Okay, hold on. Let me grab this. This is not hard to understand, I promise. So this is the formula for how damage reduction stacks. What the fuck did I just do to it? This is how this works. This deserves a Where is the thing for the fucking? It's down here. Okay. I need to give it an outline so it's easier to read. What the fuck do you want from me, Windows? Why is it? Okay, we'll just give it an outline of like 20. It's fine. Okay, here's what I want to explain about this real quick. So I just lost like 10 viewers pulling this up. You know, fair enough. So in Warframe, damage reduction sources are multiplicative with each other. So let's put some numbers into this to explain something. Say I have 1,000 damage attack over here. And then say I have... We'll delete this for now. We'll delete this for now. So just one source of DR. It's 1 minus my source of DR. Let's say it's my shields, because shields have an innate 50% DR. So 50% converted to a decimal is 0.5. So it's times 1 minus 0.5. So that's just 0.5. So I take 500 damage. It's not super complicated, I hope, there. I reduced the damage by half. So with something like this, the important thing to note here is that, we'll add another line for this just to make this a little bit easier to explain. 50% damage reduction is 2 times effective health, because I could take twice as many of these hits before I die, right? If, say, I have, like, 1,000 health and this one-shots me, now I can take that hit twice before I die, because it does half damage. So 50% DR is twice my effective health. Okay. So if we change this a bit, say we have a 90% damage reduction source, so it's 0.90 or just 0.9. That makes this deal 100 damage, because we reduce the damage by 90%. So 90% DR is 10 times your effective health, because I could take 10 of these hits now before I die. So hopefully this isn't super complicated, because we're only using one damage reduction source. But the important thing now is if I start to add multiple. So I can further this formula like this. Say I take a hit to my shields. Well, the 50% shield DR applies alongside my 90% DR ability, which means that this deals 50 damage. So these multiply into 95% DR, which is a 20 times effective health multiplier. So 95% DR is actually twice as good as 90% DR. So here's where things start to get fucked up. So I've got, say this is like Gara, and so the 0.9 is Splinter Storm. That's my 90% DR from Splinter Storm. And then the other section there is my shield DR. If I add adaptation, we do this. This reduces the damage from 1,000 to 5. This means that my damage reduction is 99.5%, which is an effective health multiplier of 200. So the reason I'm outlining all of this is because a very pervasive thing I see in Warframe is, like, adaptation has diminishing returns. Don't use it on characters with abilities that have DR. That is actually the time you do want to use adaptation, because they multiply with each other. Also, yes, the live math jumps here is now more relevant. Is there a DR cap? As far as I'm aware, no. The reason it stacks this way is so DR cannot ever hit 100%. Because if you were immune to damage completely with a DR source, then you'd be Revenant, and only he gets to do that, I guess. But, so this is how this stacks, is that the more of these you stack, your EHP multiplier goes. And once again, I want to make something apparent here. 95% DR is a 20 times effective health multiplier. 99.5% difference, keep in mind, difference of 0.4% or 4% here. Difference of, or I guess 4.5% is a 200 times effective health multiplier. This is something that I want to talk about because a lot of people get caught up in percentages, and I feel like the percentage is misleading. Like, so, take this for example. 80% damage reduction, right, is a 5 times effective health multiplier. If I can illustrate this, say we have about 1,000 damage attack times 1 minus 0.8, that's just 0.2. So 0.2 of the damage is 200, and 200 goes into 1,000 5 times. It's a 5 times effective health multiplier. Okay, so the 90% DR is 10% more. but it's a 10 times effective health multiplier, because that would make this 100, because it's 0.1, which goes into 1,010 times. So the reason that I think this is important is because I've seen people, even people that, you know, make content for Warframe and that I do respect generally as creators, make this mistake where people will be like, well, the difference between like this amount and this amount of DR is basically nothing because the percentages are so low. And the truth of the matter is the percentage is not what you should be looking at, it's the effective health multiplier. The effective health multiplier is the important thing. My blood boils thinking about it. I do have a section at the end that I've tentatively titled Giving the Devil His Due, where I do say that it doesn't work in that environment, but I don't think that that matters for most people. Basically, the higher you get in damage reduction amounts, the less of a percentage you need to get to the next effective health multiplier threshold, which is where a lot of the confusion with armor comes from. Armor actually scales linearly. Every 300 armor is equal to plus 100% EHP. So, like, 300 armor is 2 times EHP, or 50% damage reduction. 600 armor is 3 times EHP. I didn't put a space there, sorry. Something was bothering me there, which is 66.7%. 900 is 4 times, which is 75%, and so on. There is a sort of a gap in terms of, like, or I guess this explanation's oversimplified, because there is still, it's not like every time you reach 300 armor, you get it, and then if you're anywhere between, you don't, right? Like, it's not like a stat in Destiny where a 90 and a 99 give you the same bonus in Destiny. It's, there's still, you still get DR for things between the 300 blocks, but the 300 blocks is an easy way to think about it. And then again, I guess just to illustrate this, 1200 armor is a 5 times effective health multiplier. I could type, but that's only 80%. Again, you can see that as we go up in effective health effective health amounts, the percentages continue to get lower relative to each other. So, like, the next one, 1500 armor, you get this from Wukong's Defy, or from Max Rubble, is 6 times EHP. You want to know what the percentage on that is? 83.3%. It's a 3.3% difference, but it's still a 1 more EHP, like, level. I do want to make it clear with armor in specific, there are diminishing returns to it, just like with base damage. And I think a good way to think about it is that armor is like your base damage reduction. Kind of like how Serration and Heavy Caliber and stuff are your base damage and you don't want to stack them. Armor is your base damage reduction. And then adaptation and 90% DR abilities and stuff like that are multiplicative to it. So that would be like adding Eclipse to a weapon, right? How, like, Eclipse is multiplicative after mods. Stuff like adaptation is the same way. Another thing to keep in mind is this is an effective health multiplier, so it multiplies your amount of health. So, like, for example, Inaros doesn't have a DR ability, but he has so much health that he's still really tanky. Because if he stacks armor, it's a multiplier to his existing health, which is that's already super high. Another kind of thing that's important to keep in mind with this, damage reduction is not enough to prevent you from dying by itself, because if you're reducing damage, you're still gonna die eventually. Normally, having some way to heal is kind of mandatory for this to work out effectively. And then, I guess, again, right, like, 1500 armor here, I think it's 90% DR, I want to say, is at, what, 3000? Or no, it would be 2700, wouldn't it? Something like that. It might be 3000. My ability to math this out in my head is just non-existent at the moment for whatever reason. But that's besides the point. You're not standing completely still, too. Yeah, I actually, for my testing for this video, I did all of it on Mott, because Tier 4 Void enemies have a 3 times damage bonus applied to them. If you're in any Void mission branching off of Sedna, all enemies there deal 3 times more damage. Or 3 times damage, because it's 200% more damage. So I was playing in that environment specifically to prove my point for a lot of the footage and stuff I was getting. And even Warframes that I criticize for not actually being that good at tanking are still able to survive there if you know how to play your cards correctly. I currently have a section dedicated to Corvex specifically, and that I think he has really good base stats, but no way to leverage his base stats. But he can still tank because his base stats are good enough. But his main issue really is he has no way to heal. But using a pet with Hunter Recovery, you can help make up for that weakness. I have a section that basically explains that I do think that Corvex should have a DR ability or healing source because his ability to tank kind of falls flat. He's really reliant on his companion, in my experience, to not die. But at the same time, I feel like he's a good example of like good base stats and nothing to leverage. Versus like Mesa, for example, you wouldn't think she's good at tanking, but because Shatter Shield is a 95% DR source, I mean, heck, we can actually just do this right now. So 1 minus, we'll say, 0.95 for Shatter Shield, times 1 minus 0.9 for Adaptation, times 1 minus 0.5 for her shields. My thing is in a weird spot. Let's move this. Run the numbers real quick. This is going to be a decimal, I'm almost positive, which is going to be annoying, but... yeah, so this would be equal to 2.5 damage. In Warframe, anything above 0.5, gets rounded up, and anything 0.5 or below gets rounded down. So this would actually be rounded down to 2 damage. So, implying Adaptation is at full effectiveness, Mesa's effective health multiplier is 400 times. Mesa is actually very tanky, with the caveat, other than the fact that she can't heal herself, that status effects, AoE attacks, and melee attacks all completely ignore her 3. So if you're in that scenario, you're probably going to die, but at the same time, she does have the stun from her 2. No thanks. You know, fair enough. Like I said, this math isn't terribly hard. I think it just kind of helps to put into perspective how this stuff actually works. Because, like I said, there are other creators that I know that have gone on rants about how this, like, tanking is stupid and doesn't work, even at Steel Path level. And I'll be honest, I just think they're incorrect about that, and that's the point I want to illustrate in this video, is that I do think it can work, even with some caveats. Less damage enemies do, and that's true. That's a layer that I don't explore, but things like Pacify or Puncture reduce that even more. It's just it's an effect on the enemy itself, not the player. But yeah, that is a thing that's very much worth considering. I will say that much. It's just not something I get into because it makes things harder. There's also sort of a similar issue with Adaptation. Adaptation has a limitation where it only adapts to the highest represented damage source. So that can mess with the math a lot, which is why the example I use is an Eviscerator. Because the Eviscerator's rework session... No, this video has actually been an idea for like a month. I'm just getting around to making it. There is a particular conversation I had that inspired this video, but I don't want to say who, because I don't want people to go, like, annoy them about it. But there was a particular individual who said that they thought that damage reduction was stupid and that people who built for it were stupid. And at the time, I did not contest this opinion because I felt like they were wrong, but wanted to know, like, for sure why I felt that way. So I went and did some testing. I verified that the wiki's formula was correct and stuff like that. And yeah, I will bring up Guardian Armor. The way I have it separated is that there's kind of, like, different categories for who I think is, like, from best to worst at it, and Chroma gets a part saying that, like, he has no 90% DR ability, but he can get a shit ton of armor and a lot of healing, so he still can absolutely do it. I also will say, the Warframe wiki has an armor calculator, where you can see how much damage reduction you'd get. Let me see here. And then, yeah, 3,000 armor is an 11 times health multiplier. So it's 10 times more effective health. That's where I was getting tripped up. But yeah, that's how that worked. Sorry, that went for longer than I expected. That's the kind of content you can expect in the new video. Otherwise, though, I am going to go ahead and end the stream here. So thank you all for watching. Discord's in the description. VOD playlist is in the description. New content out soon. I hope to have this done by, like, next week. But it'll just kind of see. We'll just kind of have to see on that. But thank you all for watching. My dog is tweaking out over here, sorry. But I will see you all next time.